My
This
name's
sounds
Alyssa.
great.
You know what's really excellent?
I don't know if it sounds good.
These people know how to use a mic.
Yeah,
We are
that's refreshing.
comedians. We better know how to use a microphone.
I'm gonna use it like
So part of the part of the
bits.
I don't know if it was on the Facebook Live when I was on that food podcast, but Rebecca was like saying about how loud you are. And like,
me?
Yes,
it's fine.
And I was like, yeah, he's very loud. He's a very loud man. For such a small size, he puts out a lot of decibels.
You know, when you prepare for a bar mitzvah, they tell you to project. And it's a
do you do
skill
it from,
I never lost.
Do you do it from your diaphragm or your throat gut?
Diaphragm. You gotta get low. You gotta get low from your toes.
You gotta get it bellowing.
How many bar mitzvahs do you prepare for?
Just the one.
Okay.
Just the one 20 years ago. Well, I mean, I guess I prepare for a lot. Like when I go to them, you know, couple of belts in the car.
You
know?
just go to bar
He goes to them.
mitzvahs.
He's got a newsletter, bar
He
mitzvah
just
talk.
goes to them.
I do a great podcast. I go to different bar mitzvahs and I critique them.
The bar mitzvah cast.
It's a great
I
podcast.
said, Yoni, your Broadway theme is
Shlomo,
is
let me tell you.
trite, and no one wants to sit
Hackneyed.
at Cats. You're at the Cats table.
I would listen to it.
Thank you.
Hey, no problem.
All right, here we go.
It has begun.
Hello, and welcome to the CTB show. Today is July 15th, 2018. The weather has been muggy as F. The Dow.
25,019.41.
Very good.
Cannon Cochran.
Cannon Cochran, welcome to the show. My name is Evan the Mayor. That is Brian the Levy.
Hello.
We got two guests today. We got Nicki Fuchs. Say hello.
Hey, hey.
And we got Alyssa Cowan. Say hello.
Hello.
Two lady comics on the show today because last episode was a total bummer.
A little sad.
A little sad.
Sometimes you just gotta sit and gaze at your navel.
And that is exactly what we did. So that's not what we're going to do this week. We're going to talk about funny things. They're going to make you happy. You know what else makes you happy?
Top of the show plugs?
Yes! You want to do a spot?
Sure. For Warby Parker?
We've done that like 2 weeks in a row. Why don't you do one for Craft Beer of the Month Club?
Oh. Hello. It's because it's a different guy. It's not the same guy who does the Warby Parker. So it's a new person
It'll
doing.
modulate the voice.
Hello. Do you like beer? Beer is delicious. It can get you out of many a jam, including being out of jam. Beer jam. It's delicious. If you would like to explore the world of beer, craft beer to be specific, please join the Craft Beer of the Month Club by clicking through some link on some website that we control. Thank you, and God bless.
That's citythatbreeds.com/deals. I don't have any Target plugs this week, but if you please, also click through the Target banner on our website. And if you just want to go directly to our Amazon influenza page, it's bit.ly/citythatbreeds.
We should... Oh, say it again?
bit.ly/citythatbreeds.
We should add the new Stephen King book, The Outsider.
Why?
Because I just read it.
Is it in Baltimore?
No.
Oh.
But it's but I am.
Oh.
I read it. Takes place in Texas, which is different for a Stephen King novel. Or Oklahoma.
Very good. All right, wait. Most of his books, all of them take place in Maine.
Not all of them. I just told you one takes place in Oklahoma.
Well, that's weird. Why the one?
Well, some take place in Ohio. I mean, he bounces around.
Okay. All right. All right. Stand-up comedian lady guests, please introduce yourselves and give us your social media details, if you have them.
Hey, I'm Nicki. My Instagram, Twitter is at NFEWKS. On Facebook, it's just facebook.com/NPukes.
And Pukes.
And
That always makes me laugh.
I think that's it.
Hi, my name is Alyssa. I'm on alyssapants.com at Twitter.
Ooh, you have your own website.
I do. Oh, wait. Wow. So I did the website, and it's also the Twitter handle. Sorry.
There you
At
go.
Alyssa Pants. AlyssaPants.com. I have an Instagram, but it's mostly for my podcast, so don't. You can follow me there.
You have a
but
podcast?
I do.
What's the podcast called?
It's called Letter Talk.
Oh,
It's
tell me more.
Basically, I just I write letters to like organizations and like strangers and friends, and like I get random people on the internet who like send me a request, and then I'll send them like an actual letter, and then I read it on the podcast. It's only like 10 minutes long, and I do it every week.
That sounds amazing.
I was kind of hoping it was going to be this week. We're looking at
G.
the Wingdings F. And it was a fonts podcast.
I would absolutely.
Colibri.
Great idea. for a
Listen, I'm
podcast.
not a person that makes empty promises, but I will write you an entire letter about wingdings. I don't know who I'm going to write it to.
Wait, here.
But-
No,
Or in
write it to
Wingdings.
us. We'll read it on our show as a cross-promotional effort.
You'll read it on your show. I'll read it on my show.
We've decided that the Baltimore podcast community is not interweaving enough. Like,
No,
if
it
you
is
listen-
not.
Do you guys listen to podcasts? So if you listen to like LA shows, like they're always on each other's show.
Right.
And I feel like the Baltimore scene's got to start doing that too.
I agree.
Really looking forward to that
Speaking of
Ravens
which, I was
football.
just on the Rude Cooking School podcast this past week.
So subscribe to Rude Cooking School.
How
Listen
many
to Evan.
podcasts are in Baltimore?
Like a billion.
Are there really?
I feel like there are 25 of them that are about the Orioles or the Ravens or both.
Oh, okay.
And then the rest is like Laugh Finder and
Oh yeah, Laugh Finder, Tommy Sambazo.
and some other ones that we typically we interact with. I mean, Rude Cooking School is one, and then what are the other ones? Like Jay Moore,
Phil Gentile of
but that's
Isn't-
that's
I Hate JJ Redick.
yeah, it's sports.
Isn't technically D-Ray...
McKesson.
Yeah, his podcast
I
is
don't think
Baltimore, technically.
Is he in Baltimore
right?
anymore?
Pod Save the People. I don't know where he is.
Well, his Twitter says he's in Baltimore. So
Well, he
you
just
better be in Baltimore, D-Ray!
I don't think
I'm going
he's.
to come find you!
He just hasn't updated that shit.
I say maybe he's like me. Like he hasn't updated his Twitter bio in 5 years.
Right.
Update it!
I think mine is still Brian Levy, the elusive chanteuse, which was a Mariah Carey album. I think.
Whoa.
No.
Yes.
I know everything about Mariah Carey. That was not.
Oh no! I mean like a recent Mariah Carey album.
No, that's not true.
It might be.
I don't believe it. Oh, you saying it sounds like a Mariah Carey?
No, I remember it came from a Mariah Carey album. That's why, or it might have been Beyonce. I don't know. I'll
Okay,
Google
probably
it.
Beyonce. Probably Beyonce.
All right, since you guys are new to the show, what we usually do at the top, other than top of the show plugs, is we do a little roundup of what we've been up to lately. As I mentioned previously, for me, this is my update. Last week, I was talking about how I'm in Bucko 5 mode, and I've got to make some money and save some money.
Freedom isn't free.
It's not. It only costs Bucko 5. Anyway, so I signed up to be a bird bike charger. And as we can all see, there are 3 bird bikes sitting in my house.
It's tight. We're going to like leave on them.
Yeah.
we just like,
You kinda-
bye, and then we take them away.
I guess you could. I mean, if you...
Out before 7 a.m.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. So, their policy states that you're supposed to drop these things off at a designated location between the hours of 4 a.m. and 7 a.m. To which I replied, and so the first day, I managed to get them out at like 8:30. And then today I dropped one off at like 11:45 and got a breakfast bagel sandwich from a place that I paid way too much for.
I say you could almost get lunch at that time.
Yes, but they're paying me, so I'm like, I've made like $30 this weekend, so I'm like, all right, cool.
When I came in here, I was just like, "Wow, you really like
I
scooters."
love scooters.
Like,
I have-
geez,
I have
you've
3
changed.
3 scooters.
The residents of Baltimore started stealing these early.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen them all over town. People
they are all over town.
People are using them.
Well, you get so if you pop open the app or whatever, you can like see them all over the place, and I've seen a few that are that have been delocated, I guess is the term. One of them's like sitting out in the middle of nowhere in Dundalk, like very close to Sparrow's Point.
I'm waiting for who's the first person to get one of these things on that island in the middle of the
Art Miller's Island,
Yeah.
or the one with the fort on it.
The one with the fort, the one that they used to bomb.
Oh, that would
That'd be so
be
cool.
rad.
Has anyone thrown them in? Okay, I don't. Now I'm afraid to say this because I don't
You're
want to
not
put
giving
ideas.
any.
You don't wanna put
You're
that
not giving
energy.
anybody ideas. That idea is out
Just
there.
want to know how many of them have been thrown into the inner harbor, like they did with those other bike things.
Yeah, the bike
Oh, they
chairs.
did that with bike things?
They did it with bike things.
The bike
Oh,
things.
shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I
hope
do
not.
know
Don't
that
do it,
the
people.
GPS thingy will function. I mean, I want to send them an email and just be like, look, put a little floaty on the bottom of it there. So if it does wind up in the water, like at least somebody could net it out, you know,
Like an airbag, but for water.
scooters.
Well,
Yeah.
and if you go to some grocery stores, they have like these wheel locks where if you go past a certain point,
Right.
Oh my
like,
god, Trader Joe's does that to
Yeah.
me all the time, and it is
Just
very difficult.
just to you.
Yeah, because I always try and like get all my shit to my car, and like it won't let me pass like the front exit.
Yep.
Does
you
it
know?
loudly start beeping at you?
No, it just makes you look like a fucking asshole.
It's like this yellow
Trying
thing
to
that
push.
clamps down.
No,
Ka-chunk.
there-
Does it stop?
Yeah,
Like, the wheels stop.
just stop, and then
Oh.
you just like for like the first 5 minutes, you're like, wait, is this like actually happening, or am I just like high right now?
And then you
I
like
can't.
then you like pick up your
Yeah.
whole cart and just walk it over there.
And dump
you're
it
like,
into the
"Fuck."
back of your car.
And then
Didn't
you like
save
have
me
to
any
push it
time
all
at
the way
all.
back, and it like keeps fucking up. It's just like ridiculous.
Yeah, these scooters, like I've noticed that you could pick one up and walk away with it, but it will start beeping, and you can't really just pedal them with your feet. They're not like that. They're not like a Mongoose scooter or a Razor, spelled R-A-Z-R, because that's cool.
No, it's always
I remember those.
It's always moving.
What do you mean?
I mean, like it's always on. Like the engine is always on.
Yes.
It's powered.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's designed to be. Anyway, that's enough hot scooter chat. The other hot topic is I'm going to Hot Atlanta, August 4th for 1 day.
Oh, we're going to go
Why?
I'm going to see a podcast.
at the Fabulous Gentlemen's Gold Club.
Yes.
podcast?
It's called The Dick Show. I can't even really get into it. It's
It's a show where guys talk about their wieners.
it's a very
All sorts of
a
kinds.
dude show for sure. I'm a little ashamed to say that I'm going to it, but I would be remiss if I missed this shit show. It is going to be a fucking night. Like,
Do they have juggies and stuff?
sort of. No, there's like two girls that are like popular with the crowd that are very attractive, and they
Who are the hosts of this show?
it's a guy named Dick Masterson.
Uh-huh.
It's a character.
Is that a porno?
Okay,
Porn? Is he in a
it
porn?
Yeah, it's a character.
Oh, okay.
He made a viral sensation with an appearance on Dr. Phil a few years ago, where I guess he duped them because
Yeah.
the segment was basically like, this is a men's rights guy type thing, where he was like, women are whores, like they fucking suck, like they're just draining you of your wallet and la 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 la, and then walked off and just laughed because he it was like the couple that got into a fight on Jerry Springer, but it turned out that they were just lying the whole time.
It sounds like the personification of that song. Show Me Your Genitals.
Oh yes, yeah.
Women are stupid, and I don't respect them. Have you guys ever seen that?
Show me your
No.
genitals.
It's by
Your
Taco
genitals.
from The League.
Yeah.
Oh, I know who Taco is.
Yeah.
Dave Duvall or whatever his name is. Yeah, anyway. It's similar to that.
Okay. So,
but
ironic misogyny.
Correct.
Okay.
bordering on real, I'm not sure.
Oh,
But
okay.
I'm going mostly to see the people that are going to see this, because I know that they're all like basement dwelling, mouth breather, neckbeard degenerates, and I'm like, fuck it. Yeah, I'll spend $200 to fly to Atlanta and watch this nightmare.
The way that South Park's ironic detachment became South Park republicanism, you're going to see the actual misogynists who show up for the ironic misogyny.
I'm sure you'll
Yup.
get a lot of great material from that. At least.
You're probably right about that. Well, at the very least, I'm landing roughly 10 a.m., and so I'll get to wander around downtown Atlanta for 6 hours, take in the sights, some sights, and then watch a bunch of
Are you staying over?
till
Okay.
Sunday. So 1 day in Atlanta.
One day, one night.
Still hella tight.
Yeah,
Are you going by yourself?
sort of.
Okay.
There's another person in Baltimore that is also going, and I was like, okay, we can meet up, and if you need to crash in my hotel room, I got 2 double beds. This could be a horrible, horrible, horrible decision.
Oh, you're gonna get
I
murdered.
kind of know the guy, like he shows up to my trivia night, but we'll see.
You're
We'll
gonna get
see.
murdered.
Maybe.
You're gonna get murdered. A lot of fun.
Yeah. All right. What else? Anybody else got a little thing?
I went to see Barenaked Ladies on Monday.
Yes, you did.
It was
oh my
awesome.
God.
It was awesome.
Where'd you see them at?
Pier 6. I paid for
Word.
it.
That's where we're going after this.
Nice. What are you guys going to see?
Taking Back Sunday.
Okay, I feel like that's a lateral move.
Also, I saw Britney Spears on Thursday, but
That's different.
that's huge.
That's huge.
That was a very huge experience. Still don't know if it was really her or not.
Oh, is that still a thing? Like where people, are like, not only is she a lip syncer, but she's like got a body double syncer.
No, like, I don't know. She just doesn't look how she used to look. I like totally Instagram stalked her the day.
Yeah.
It's been like 20 years.
I know, but I don't know. I just
Of course she doesn't. I don't look
It's
the same
called
as I did
aging.
20 years ago.
So I've been watching a lot of MTV Classic, which is nothing but videos from the 80s and 90s, early aughts. And I saw Baby One More Time, the video, the other day, and I was just floored. I mean,
That's a 17-year-old girl.
I listened to that song
but I
again,
was
too,
17,
yeah.
or I was 15.
I was
so
not. I was older.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's
like
not fine anymore. That's
not
for
anymore.
sure.
But looking at through my old eyes,
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, right, that."
My old eyes.
But it was very much
My younger eyes.
that, like being 31, remembering hearing that song when I was 13 and being like, "Oh, okay, like this is a really awful song." Like just the lyrics, like what the fuck is like going on that they would
Oh,
let
baby, baby,
somebody-
how was I supposed to know?
It's not. It's not like Britney Spears originated the sexy baby, but she is definitely the modern
The
days.
sexy baby.
She's the modern
Sexy
days.
baby.
by wearing
biggest
like
equivalent.
the little whatever
the Catholic school.
her
Yeah,
performance
It's gonna get me in
was
trouble.
absolutely amazing.
I'm sure.
Very provocative. She walked all over men, like physically walked on like a line of men, and then she got a male audience member on stage and walked the male audience member like a dog at the beginning of the set, and then by the end of it he was like part of the dance routine and she like kissed him on the cheek.
Did she do Lucky?
No.
That's my favorite Britney
What?
Spears song.
Dude, me too.
Oh, I love it. It's
I
the
like
best.
that
song.
Britney Spears song.
I like it.
Late 90s. Hey, remember Girl Power?
Yeah, right.
The Spice Girls? They
I
were
don't
like,
know.
Hey, Girl Power.
Absolutely.
Of course I remember Girl Power.
Midway through, I just felt so like the Barenaked Ladies. I was just so into it. Like I was like, oh, this is what it feels like to be young. I assume going to the Britney Spears
Were
concert.
you drunk?
I was drunk.
Were you on
Yeah.
edibles?
No, I was
Oh.
just smoking pot. It's pure sex.
I took edibles before
It's
mine,
pure
so I was
sex.
like so like like
Okay.
it was crazy.
I feel so bad about having to do this, but technically, yeah, it's been 1 week since you saw them. Okay, bye.
Yeah, no, I'm on board. I'm on board.
I'll see myself out.
Britney Spears, she's like Brian Wilson, right? She's a nutcase.
She was under conservatorship from her parents for a time because she lost her shit, and like the kids were in danger at some
Yeah.
point.
Actually posted something on Facebook about how ironic it was the first time I've ever been able to see Britney Spears, I also had a shaved head.
Oh, right.
Like, when she shaved her head, I was like,
Yeah, remember that?
holy shit, right?
Shaved her head, attacked a car with an umbrella.
Yes.
That. Speaking of South Park, like that episode of South Park was right on point. It
Oh
was
my god.
just about like society, and connecting to the conversation we were having last episode about how like society just wants to destroy like certain individuals because they're just like Brittany Wouch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, she's got a pee stain on her pants. Like,
Half her head's gone.
yeah,
you know?
half her head's gone.
Yeah. She
Yeah.
definitely had some like awkward moments, but I think it was like I wonder personally if she has like some sort of like anxiety, at least. I'm sure. Like anxiety, depression, like all that. I mean, I don't know if she's ever come
I
out
think
and
you have
talked
to be
about it.
at least anxious or depressed to attack a car with an umbrella.
Yeah.
That sounds like something
That's
I
true.
would do when I'm like anxious and depressed.
Absolutely.
I don't think I've ever gotten into specifics on her diagnosis, but she's
No.
a 36-year-old woman whose father, or I guess, is she older or younger?
She's definitely 36.
Yeah,
30,
she's-
36,
she's
37 years
Well,
old.
you know, whose father, is in charge of her checkbook.
I was gonna
Right.
say, like, if you look at her trajectory, like, she was on the fucking Mickey Mouse Club, right?
Yeah.
Like, immediately celebrity as a kid, and then is sexualized as a 17-year-old pop star, gets pregnant via...
And also desexualized, because you got to think about how much focus they were putting on Justin and her fucking.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Every-
but then
Everything
gets
about her.
prego by Kevin Federline, a very
Yeah.
fine man. And, yeah, like, just kind of... I guess what I'm getting at is that she's from Louisiana, right? And you just can't take that out of somebody from Florida or Louisiana. Like that whole, I'm still into guys like Kevin Federline. I'm still gonna get prego at like 21. And her sister
at like 17.
Yeah, and like she's not
No, I
on
think
Disney
it just
Channel anymore. They canceled her show because she got pregnant.
But that was also
Oh,
10 years
shit.
ago, I bet.
Oh yeah, she's definitely like,
That was forever
an adult
ago.
now.
I
Weird.
wonder. Yeah, I mean that's why people like really take a close look at child stars now.
And that's been what we've been up to. What are you guys up to these days, ladies?
Oh, we went to an emo prom at
Whoa.
the Auto Bar on
my
Friday.
God.
That sounds really cool.
It was my dream come true.
Like a lot of
Yeah.
dispatch. I don't know.
No,
What are
no.
some wait?
Not
what are-
dispatch.
Absolutely not.
what were some of the emo bands from? Like, I mean, was
Taking Back
Back
Sunday.
Sunday.
oh yeah.
Hello Goodbye, Paramore, which I just saw them recently too.
Was My
I
Chemical
almost went to
Romance
that.
an emo
Yeah.
band?
It was called My Chemical Slow Dance. That was actually the name.
That was the name of the show. That was the name of the prom.
Yeah.
I've been listening to a lot of my downloaded music on my phone, and I have Black Parade, like
Yeah.
the album.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
yeah.
They make some good music.
They did
like
make good
Three
music.
Cheers
There
for
was a
Sweet Revenge is like a good album.
Yeah. So that we that was like our first time like getting wasted together and like. Okay, no, that's a
Does
lie.
it yeah, I feel
We
like
did
we've gotten
drunk show. We got
before.
wasted. Yeah,
We've
but
gotten wasted before.
that was
my
the first
friend.
time I met her dog.
That was true.
Oh, what kind of dog do you have?
She's a Jack Russell Bichon mix.
So cute.
That sounds like a
She's-
little tiny hyper dog.
That puts it away pretty well.
Like
yeah.
Eddie
But
from
not
Frasier.
like extremely hyper.
Yeah.
Like not very annoying hyper. Very like sweet and loving and cute.
Yeah,
hyper.
she's not like crazy and like. Luckily, she only really annoys me. She doesn't really annoy.
Did
other
she
people,
have a
but-
date for the dance, or or did you leave her at
The
home?
dog from Frasier.
The dog from Frasier. I don't want to depress anybody, but that dog is long
The dog
dead.
is hella dead. I looked it up. I think they died in like 2006. I was real sad.
It's
to
the
find
same
out.
dog from My Dog Skip.
Other celebrity
No.
dogs that have passed. The
Airbud.
Taco Bell Chihuahua.
Airbud's dead.
Oh, do you guys remember Milo and Otis?
All dead.
7 of those dogs died.
Dude.
That movie,
99 of the 101 Dalmatians gone. Just kidding. I don't know.
the cat from the Hang in There baby poster.
1 Dalmatians from 101 Dalmatians. Are
Right,
dead.
that movie came out in the 50s. They're all dead.
Yeah.
Beethoven, dead.
Lassie 20 dead.
Benji,
Rin Tin Tin.
what is wrong with us?
I don't know.
I don't know.
This is
Sick
what
people.
happens when we drink natural ice.
Oh, yeah,
we
we-
upgraded this week from
So-
natural light to natural light. 5.9% alcohol by volume.
As opposed to the 4.7, I think is normal.
It's at least 1 point above.
I like it.
I wasn't paying any attention when I went to get Natty
It
Light,
certainly is high test.
and I got Natty Ice.
How
like
did
I'm
you
an-
make that mistake?
Like I'm an 18-year-old dorm dweller.
Yeah, I just can't do it anymore.
Oh, I can.
I just can't.
Can't.
Being around like everybody that can makes me feel like I should too. That's
What, drink heavily?
No,
I
drink
mean,
the terrible
It's
stuff.
the peer pressure hour.
It's the
Yeah,
terrible
man.
stuff.
All
Oh.
the cool kids drink the terrible stuff,
The
bro.
terrible stuff.
This show it kind of drinks the terrible stuff. Yeah, like Natty Light is our
Can't do any of it.
is our show drink. But I mean, I drink like Coors Heavy,
Nope, can't.
Bud
do it.
Heavy.
The banquet
Can't do
beer.
It's you drink it at banquets. It's by name. It's classy.
I bring it to banquets.
Right.
I don't even have it.
All the
It's
banquets
the
I go.
banquet beer, my
When
dudes.
was the last time you went to a banquet?
I
At your
went.
bar mitzvah?
I show up. In my,
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
I show up in my tails coat, and then I open the coat, and I have a little holster that has all of my MGD ponies.
Right.
Yeah.
Sitting-
And also, you're naked under the coat.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Oh, yeah.
wondering why.
I mean,
Happy 5th birthday, Billy.
this is going to be one hell of a banquet.
Right. Everywhere is a banquet if you just call it one.
All right, next topic. What happened? What happened? Oh no, I ran out of batteries.
Oh well.
It still makes noise.
It was there, we assume.
It was. All right, so there was a viral sensation, possibly a plague-related sensation that happened at Lexington Market.
An actual
recently.
viral
It was
sensation.
a viral, bubonic plague
Yeah.
laden sensation. There was a video that went very, very popularly viral at Lexington Market of a rat crawling around in a deli container. Oh my god. It was like all these baked goods, these precious cakes and cookies and things, and there was this fucking rat like running doing serpentine laps, like making sure that it was covering each and every square centimeter of these baked goods. And a dude just standing there with his phone, like recording the whole thing.
Good morning, Baltimore.
Yeah.
Ratatouille's going on to the morning jog.
Really, really unfortunate because, I love Lexington Market. I really do. I like going there. And
I like the idea of it, but continue.
I like I like seeing all the, the salted pig's feet and getting the pasta salad. And, when Pollock Johnny's was there, we'd get that. And I'd go to Fadley's, get some crepes.
There's a legitimate open-air drug market for 3 blocks either way.
Yup. And the whole thing is covered in garbage.
Yeah.
And it's disgusting. And the bathrooms are full of stuff you don't like. The CDC needs to investigate the DNA that's on the floor of that place because it's like, the bathroom floor there glows. That's how dirty it is. Like it's like
it's not shining. It's not shining because it's clean. It's glowing because it's dirty.
Having said that, I basically wanted to make the point that fucking market is such a gem, and it really could be such a nice place. But there's like little to no desire to sort of like even try to clean it up. To like, there's a freaking a hidden bar underneath.
Yeah,
it's like a cave bar.
I feel like anywhere that has like restaurants, like isn't there like the public health like service thing that comes in and like
it was shut down for the day.
That stall was, but not the market.
Oh.
My biggest question about the rat is, did any of you guys verify that the mouse or the rat didn't work there?
Oh.
First of all, you just want to know that first.
The
Because you guys could be being mean.
His name was Rizzo, and he was there. He was there with his roommate, Gonzo the Great.
Right.
It was actually Ratatouille Part 3.
Is
We
there
were
a part?
filming Ratatouille Part 3.
God, he took a step down. He's in a deli. He used to make Italian food. So
I realized that Rizzo is Gonzo's sidekick. But what the fuck is Gonzo? He's an alien, right?
Gonzo is a weirdo.
he's a guy with a penis nose.
Yeah, he sure does.
Curl
Now,
penis nose.
In the late 90s film Muppets from Space, it was, I'm pretty sure it was revealed that Gonzo is an alien.
Yeah, okay.
But he's fucking that chicken.
I wasn't making that up.
Camilla.
He's fucking a chicken?
His girlfriend, Camilla.
His nose?
No. His girlfriend is a chicken. Her name is Camilla.
Yeah, he is probably using his nose.
Isn't it a little unusual that
He's smart. He's gonna come out with like so many raps about how he smelled that pussy.
Oh boy.
It's like, it's so gross. Sorry.
Make that cloaca cluck. That was terrible.
Cloaca.
Whatever.
That's what it's called.
I've never heard that word said out loud.
They really need to address the issue of a pig marrying a frog, and if they were to have children, what would they be? Would it be like 50-50, half pigs, half frogs, or they would be like hybrids?
It would be 50-50. Frogs,
Tiny
pigs.
Yeah, it would be
frogs.
a
And
friggy.
then one frog with a pig nose. and that's the one that has to go on adventures and learn like to get his brothers and sisters acceptance.
But seeing as
I'm on
how
board.
Kermit,
that sounds awesome.
Kermit the Frog, like the frog lays eggs, but the pigs conceive internally. So Miss Piggy is giving birth
pigs are
to
mammals,
a frog.
correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's definitely coming out of her
Pig-gina?
her pig.
How
pig
was
vagina.
Stuart Little born?
Big vagina.
You know?
How do you know it's a big vagina?
How was Stuart Little born?
Because he was a mouse born of Gina Davis
Ooh.
with
I
Michael
mean,
J. Fox's voice.
Honestly, if I were ever gonna get pregnant, I would want it to be a mouse because then it wouldn't like take up much space. And then like they say when you give
Baby
birth,
could-
it's like pushing a watermelon out of a straw. Like if it's like a Stuart Little, you're like, all right, you're in
why-
labor for like
That's
20
your
minutes.
Period.
Yeah, yeah, I pushed out worse.
It's why I always recommend to It's why I always recommend to pregnant women to smoke because the only problem, lower birth weight.
That's the only problem.
Yeah,
Oh,
you want
well.
that big old baby?
Right. I mean, sure, the kid's got asthma, but he wasn't going to be an athlete anyway.
Oh shit.
Oh, anyway, sorry, Lexington Market. I'm sad that this happened.
But yeah.
Nobody needs this kind of attention. It's like every chance we get, we talk about Baltimore as if it's like this huge joke, right? Like everything fucking sucks. Just Baltimore, fuck. Ew, gross. Baltimore, ah.
And maybe if we didn't have rats crawling across our desserts, we wouldn't have to make those jokes so often.
That's true.
Yeah.
If we didn't have, I mean, not like any other city doesn't have this issue, but like people that are standing out front of a nice restaurant that are very clearly on heroin or something like that, and they just keep leaning over, but they don't fall. Like how that becomes some sort of a joke.
Right, we have The Wire and Cake Vermin.
Well, to
Cake
be
Vermin.
fair, I remember I was eating at a restaurant in D.C., and I saw like 2 or 3 like mice crawl out of a hole in the wall, and I thought it was kind of the funniest thing ever. And I was just like, you guys have a mouse or 3. And like I told the waiter, and then it turned into this big kerfuffle where they were like chasing them down and trying to hit them with the broom. And then they gave me like free salmon because of it. And so it ruled.
Don't tell anyone about the vermin.
Yeah. So it's like, but that was like in DC where it's supposed to be fancier than Baltimore.
Well, that's what you get for going to dinner in a fairy tale. You know? Come here, you blind mice bastards.
Yeah, I did get out of a pumpkin and be like, oh, thank you, pumpkin. I'll order my salmon now for free. Save me $15.
Yeah.
That was the best day of my life. I was like, I want to see mice more often
Why is fish so fucking expensive at restaurants?
because it rules, bro.
I mean, it's great, but I don't think I'm ever going to order a fish dish at a restaurant because it's going to run you like $34 when I could just, get my own little salmons and cook them at home.
I like a nice salmon
also
patty.
true.
I don't know. I'm not a guy who's going to order fish at a restaurant anyway.
Yeah, because you're poor.
No, 'cause I don't. Well, so if I were to be able to afford to order fish at the restaurant, I wouldn't because.
All right, let's
I'll go for that
imagine
beef.
we're rich, right? Okay, what's the one thing that top dollar item that you would want to order at any restaurant you can think of? Could be anywhere. Could be on the moon.
I guess all the Big Macs.
The biggest Big
100 Big Macs.
Mac stacked on each other and carried out on a human.
Big
That
Mac.
people carry like it's a platter.
Hello, sir. What can I get for you? I'm like, Max on Max on Max. Come on.
Give me all of your Big Macs. How come the Big Mac is the only sandwich at McDonald's that has a sesame seed bun?
Because the guy who invented it, he ordered sesame seed buns by
But
accident.
sesame seed buns are superior
true
to
story.
the other
Really?
buns. Why wouldn't you just use it on all of the products?
I don't know because it costs too much.
Yeah, I guess it probably costs more.
That's just, I'm not a fan.
Also, just ask for your QPC with a sesame seed bun. They'll give it to you.
That's true.
Whoa, is that a life hack?
Yeah.
Did you just give us a life
Order a
hack?
McDouble with Mac sauce. They'll give it to you. You've got your Big Mac. And you don't have that stupid middle roll.
Ladies,
I hate that thing. What's the point?
What's the point?
Yeah.
More carbs. That's the point. I just like my double cheeseburger. Like, that's all I need.
I'm on board.
I get the fish fillet.
the McDouble. Oh, you like the
She eats
McFish?
fish everywhere. I eat at McDonald's.
Cheese, tartar, and fish. Mm.
Dude, I love it. Don't care. Me and my dad had a special bond over it, and I remember him I thought it was on the dollar menu for a second, and he was like, "What? No, it's not on the dollar menu. If it was on the dollar menu, you could tell the temperature from my eyeballs because I'd have so much mercury." My dad was a drama queen.
Wow.
I would have trouble ordering a $1 fish item.
Yeah, same here. Same
True,
here.
not very
Yeah.
trustworthy.
It's kind of like the McRib, where you know what you're getting.
No trouble ordering the McRib.
Ew.
When's that coming back? Is there going to be an internet counter? Like, is there a timer somewhere on the internet that says
Yeah.
McRib coming
No,
back?
because
They
five.
replaced the national debt clock. It's a clock
The
for when the
McRib clock.
McRib comes
that could
back.
be the title of the episode. You
A
guys.
McRib clock.
Yeah.
No, 5 years ago they gave the local franchises the choice of whether or not to carry the McRib, and every single McDonald's franchise in Maryland said no, thank you.
It's disgusting. I did see it in the Ocean Shitty one time.
Oh, okay. So I
Yeah.
mean, it may be the Baltimore area, but you can't get them close.
All right. Anybody else have a top dollar item? If you're assuming you're rich, like
I mean, I do like lobster.
lobster,
Yeah, I like lobster rolls with the butter
Oh, man.
and on that really good bread.
booter.
I like anything that's seafood.
Yeah,
I would
me
just
too.
spend all this money at Red Lobster.
Yeah,
Just
cheddar
Bay
biscuits.
biscuits.
Oh my God, those biscuits.
Chipotle wrapped in gold leaf. You know, that's
Right. Yeah. No, that's bullshit. Like, anytime there's like, this is $1 million martini because we dropped a fucking diamond in it.
Well,
Yeah.
don't.
Okay.
Just don't.
Right.
Don't put the diamond there. It's
Oh,
weird.
a $30 martini? Well, that I've got to try. You know, like,
Yeah, like the chicken wings in Manhattan that are like dipped
Gold
in
leaf.
gold, and I'm like, ow.
Why do you
Yeah.
want to eat gold?
Like, what does
I've
that
never-
taste like? Oh, this
Is that
tastes
okay
very
to
metally.
even eat?
I don't know. Turns to gold shit. Like, why would you want
Yeah.
gold shit?
Why-
Can you
yeah.
turn that in?
Oh,
okay,
wait,
Get the
so
money?
so
Wait,
okay,
hold on.
so now I have to. Now I must.
You're absolutely right.
Right.
I completely turned around on this. It's well up to $35 for the 10 wings.
It's like as disgusting as corn is that second time.
Right.
The gold leaf is amazing.
Golden Duke.
Right?
Wow.
So exciting.
All right, before we get to the second half of the show, which is going to be entirely about comedy, we're going to talk about Artscape. We're going to talk about more Artscape. We're going to talk about a comedy special entitled Nanette and other specials that we enjoy. Are there any other topics we would like to cover other than Papa John's before we take a break?
No, am I doing a shut up now, or should I do?
Shout out.
Am I going to do my shut up at the end? That kid that I don't know if he's a kid.
shout out?
He's an adult.
Oh yeah, let's talk about him because he's a topic now. He's not just a shut up.
Yeah. So I
Hold on, let me
mentioned
get one more. Yeah, okay.
maybe one. I mentioned a couple of weeks ago that there was a guy who came into the store and he was trying to. He was doing, like, man on the street comedy, but fucking with everybody. And I was like, definitely trying to get me to be a white guy on camera. His bit ended with, I thought this was my hood, to really play on the white guilt. Really disappointing stuff because that's not how I see myself. And I didn't like being put in a situation to be made to look like that's who I was. It made me very uncomfortable. And I didn't find it to be funny. I found his Instagram page because he was like, I'm on Instagram, and I'm like, all right, guy.
Wait,
and
he said that to you?
Yeah.
He was like, hey, be on my video. Also, by the way, I'm
no,
on Instagram.
he came in he came in a second day to apologize or whatever, or try to be like, I just want to let you know what I was doing. I'm on Instagram. I was like, oh, so you have an email address? I was not impressed with
So
him.
he basically broke character and said, yeah, I was just fucking with you
Right?
because it's funny.
That's breaking kayfabe.
I hated
no
it.
one do that.
I hated it. I was like, all right, bud. I was like, I'm gonna tell you all this. It's all scripted. You can't just I was like, and I said these things to him. I was like, someone's gonna kick your ass.
Yeah.
And apparently, the next time I saw him when he tried to come in and fuck around again, his phone was just shattered. So I've recently.
So somebody slapped it out of his hand.
I found his Facebook page, or I found his Instagram page where he has all these videos, and it's basically just him terrorizing strangers. It's not funny.
That's not funny.
I mean, track it down yourself. Don't give him the fuck.
It's because when you described it, I thought that it was just this obnoxious person who was trying to race bait people.
So he's trying. He is an obnoxious person trying to race bait people.
But no,
but in the name of comedy,
right? But he. So
That's offensive.
The few
weird.
The few videos that I saw, it was just him basically being like, "Yo, dude, your shirt looks like shit. Your breath is smelly," and they're like, "Leave me alone."
Right. It's not even the thoughtfulness of putting on a Green Man costume and jumping out from behind corners,
hiding his entire identity, basically.
Right.
Don't be. Yeah. My only comment is, why don't you just, dude? Why don't you just try to do real jokes at an open mic? I don't know. There's a lot of them in Baltimore. I'm sure that you could find time somewhere.
Are we, as a society, still cool? So Don Rickles, the ultimate insult comic, right? Are we okay with? Could we ever have another insult comic like Jeff Ross?
Absolutely,
he's that
dude. Yeah, Bruce Willis just had a comedy roast.
It's tonight, I think.
I missed
Is it? Yeah. Okay.
Ooh.
There you go.
Whoa.
So yeah, that's very much a thing. They have a TV show on Comedy Central called Roast Battle.
Oh, okay.
And it's.
I remember he had a show. Jeff Ross had The Burn, which I thought was fun. It was basically comics just burning each other, insulting.
Yeah, now it's basically it's called Roast Battle.
It's the question is if Don Rickles is roasting, talking about somebody, calls them a cheap Jew, is it okay?
That's what I was getting at.
Right.
Everyone gave him a pass because he's 85 and he's doing his Rickles.
He's been doing it for 60 years,
100 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he can get away with that anymore. I don't think most comedians can get away with being racist when they aren't do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're not the same race that they're shitting on.
Right. Yeah, Rickles as a Jewish man can say things about Jewish people.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think. But then, can't Rickles, as a guy who spent time in nightclubs around a billion Italians in the 60s and shit, tell a good Italian joke? I mean, I say yes, because I don't think we should stop ourselves from telling jokes.
What is a modern-day Italian joke, though?
Who the fucking knows? I'm sure it has something to do with the Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to tell a Jersey Shore Italian joke anymore?
Because I do like making fun of the Pauly D's of the world.
Yeah, but I also feel like that is so out of 2018.
No. Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't think you would tell a joke about, like shucking and jiving a watermelon, but I think you can tell a joke about black people that isn't racist, that still is, doesn't make them the butt of the joke.
I think it depends on your point of view. It depends on who's the villain in the joke.
Exactly.
If it's like the marginalized group that's the villain in the joke, then you're doing it wrong.
Bingo.
Like, you can't be the hero and the bad guy all at once.
Exactly.
In your joke, because it's just sad and creepy because and it reflects on you in real life. Like, a lot of comics, I feel like they don't realize they know this, especially when they're starting out, is that if you have a thing where you're like, oh, I come off as sort of racist or something, I'm like, no, dude, if you're not doing it right, you just come off as racist in general. Not just in your comedy act. Just in general. Like,
yeah. And speaking of, you were at the open mic on Saturday, so I was asked to host an open mic in Hamden. Zissimo's at 10:30.
Zissimo's.
Yeah.
Zissimo's, go to it. It's
upstairs.
So tight. It's a cool venue upstairs.
Not too shabby. It was a pretty good night until this little skinny white guy got on stage and basically asked the crowd this was his exact question, can I say the N-word? And he asked it about 4 times, and by the 4th time, I had started heckling him at the 2nd time.
Well, like, everybody in the crowd was, because I remember, like, because to be honest, I was, like, standing in the back with all the comedians, and we were yucking it up, and then I just turned around because I heard a bunch of people going, no! I'm like, wait,
I said,
what happened? And then, like, one of my other friends turned to me, and they're like, he just asked if he could say the N-word. I was like, what? And then I heard him ask it again. And then he asked the comics specifically, because a lot of the comics that were back there are black.
Yeah.
So, like, and they were like, what? No.
And I just said, okay, time to go.
No one cares who your high school friends are. You can't just,
Apparently, he had been doing this previously, and that's my biggest disappointment is that there are
Is that you're the only person who, like, kicked him off stage
Yeah, and other comedians are like, oh, he's just a white guy trying to test out his jokes. Give him a break.
Were they all white guys saying that?
No, I'm saying that's what basically why he got to do those jokes before.
It's the difference between, doing a... black people go to the cookout, white people go to a barbecue. It's like that shit. It's tired.
I'm offended.
It's tired. I'm offended at how old and tired that joke is.
Yeah, that's the part that's offensive.
But it's not racist.
But I want to go.
Those jokes are out there.
I want to go to grown folks at the pool at Druid Hill Park.
Yeah, go.
I want to go
to a grown folks party.
I want to go.
35 and up.
Sweet. Well, I'm 35 and up.
I don't know anything about
I'm too young.
So, as somebody who spent a lot of time in black radio, grown folks is a don't show up in sweatpants and tennis shoes kind of party.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm already out then.
But okay, there's still like $75 sweatpants. They don't want you to show up in sweatpants.
They want you in bathing suits.
I am like really complimented that you would be even like, Alyssa, there's $75 sweatpants.
Oh no!
I'm going nowhere near those.
I'm talking about the kind of sweatpants a
nice
successful black man wears to a party. Yes,
yeah.
They're velour sweatpants.
You can't even wear You can't even wear the J-Lo outfit.
No. They want all white linen with a white Kangol. That is the grown folks
already
party.
Out of my price range.
Grown folks. That's the kind of attire for a grown folks party.
It sounds fun, though.
Oh, they're great.
But
they're great.
So the point of, I guess, bringing that up, and now we've
Yeah.
sort of organically gone into the whole idea of, using these terms in stand-up comedy, especially when you look back on the old Chappelle show there, which, Neil Brennan, who's one of the co-creators of that show, and it was a lot of N-words thrown around.
I think if you get hired for a job where the boss says, hey, man, we're going to need you to do
All the
something,
N-words.
in one specific situation, this one specific man was probably okay.
Yeah, and
when Mel Brooks was sitting next to Richard Pryor writing Blazing Saddles, I think they were probably okay.
I think the intent really, really counts.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've ever met any white dude in the open mic scene who had a truly pure intent, was like, no, can I say it? Because I'm going to say really good stuff.
But also,
no,
if you have to ask, why would you say it?
Then you probably can't.
If you have to ask the question, don't, that's your answer. If you have to sit, unless you have the confidence to come out and say
Just do it, right?
And honestly, I've seen people, some dudes who did that, who I'm just like, oh, everyone hates you now.
But that's what they deserve.
And no, that's true. You kind of like that is kind of the situation where you should allow them to fall on their face to an extent. But even that, like, I can't even. Part of me, I was like, I can't even understand that mindset where they're just like, I got a free speech, man. We gotta do what we can. Like, why? What kind of hill are you dying on, my dude?
Chances are the MRA hill.
Also true. Also true.
Everything's going wrong for white guys these days. What's that
There's
about?
a war on men, white men, especially straight white men.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so funny because that's basically a lot of what the special Nanette like.
Things have been really hard for the white men for like last.
Oh my god,
little
they're getting
bit.
so.
You guys have had like
She-
6
yeah.
weeks of bad times.
Yeah,
Actually, there
we're
was,
getting harassed. Okay,
There was
On
a woman
Twitter?
who was almost president. Did you guys see that? It was so close. What's that about?
So we were supposed. So this whole thing was supposed to start with making fun of Papa John, the Papa John guy, because he apparently used the N-word on a conference call. And
I feel like he spent a year just gearing up for it. He's like, you know what? I've said a lot of shitty things about football players kneeling. I think it's just time to use the
ready.
N-word in public. You know?
His diary
What is
entry.
it with- what is it with these like white like chefs that are like saying
oh, I'm sorry.
slurs?
Are you saying Papa John is a chef?
No, but what I am saying is Paula Deen also used the N-word.
But that at least contextually makes a bit of sense because she's from the deep south and like cooks everything in butter and
Was
the
born in
60s was
1940 something.
right, and
Yeah.
probably was using the word every 5 minutes.
I mean, I get a cup of butter when I would get Papa John's.
yeah,
Right.
the garlic butter.
I'd be more,
I
I'd be
eat
more
the
concerned if
butter.
Paula Deen hadn't said the N-word once in her life. Be like,
That'd be
shit, did you
super
leave the
weird.
house? What is wrong with
She's
you?
hiding something.
Right? Like, it's like the idea that, like, if Donald Trump hasn't at one point said that Jew bastard, I'd be super surprised. He worked in real estate in New York. It had to have happened once. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
if he didn't use the term Jew as a verb like a million times, I'd be
it had
utterly
to
shocked.
have happened once.
I'm surprised he hasn't done that on Twitter yet.
Right? Like, I'm going to Jew down China. Really fix this trade war. It's coming. I can't wait. Like, I don't understand. Like, Papa John is from, like, Ohio. You know? Like,
Yeah.
he's from the North.
But he kind of
I didn't know that.
now I'm just being an asshole, but he looks like he's kind of like a mummy. He's been dyeing his hair really dark. You know, he's doing this Paul McCartney thing. Paul McCartney's like in his 70s and he's dyeing his hair.
He's old these days. I mean, he's been on
looks like
television.
A grandma. Paul McCartney looks like a grandma.
No,
not a
Papa
grandpa.
John is like 54.
But he's been on TV for 25 years.
Yeah, and he's got like a discolored forehead. I don't know, man.
Papa John makes me think of that episode of Frasier where like Frasier's dad like puts all that
Oh,
grease in his
that's
hair,
such a good one.
and then he like rubs it in the chair and then he can't move from the chair, or the lady that he's talking to will know that he put dye in his hair. What a kerfuffle.
I love that. I know exactly what you're talking about.
What?
Episode rules.
It's so good.
Yeah, poor Papa John, man. Oh man, had to step down as CEO of his own company. Oh, and his
First
name's
of
on
all, didn't he had to step down when he did the whole like thing about the kneeling
it.
thing?
No, that just got him bad press. But now
Oh.
they're using the
That's when
N-word
it should have happened.
on the conference call. Apparently, the company has been dropped by the MLB and everything.
Wasn't it already dropped by the NFL when
It
he like
was.
tried to increase prices for kneeling or what is
So
it?
No.
weird.
He said that the reason that Papa John's was losing money was because of their ties with the NFL during the whole Neil scandal gate, whatever the fuck.
People aren't ordering our shitty pizzas. It's the black guy's fault.
Yeah.
Like, oh, fuck
Colin
you, Papa
Kaepernick is
John.
single-handedly
Yeah.
costing me millions of dollars.
It's like he's not on the team this year, bro. He's just not doing it. Like, you know.
Dude,
Natural.
what I think would be super tight, like I don't know who's going to be the next CEO, but I think it'd be really funny if they had to like change it to like
Colin Kaepernick.
it's gonna be called
Captain
like
Kaepernick.
yeah, Captain Kaepernick's his pizza, or like Son Steve. I don't know. Like, they have to change the whole thing.
Papa
Like,
Steve.
Have
I
have
hear-
you guys ever heard of the movie Putney Swope?
No.
So
I was about to say, before you get into this, I was about to say that Jared Fogle needs work.
yes, right.
Oh my God,
Fogel.
Papa John's and Jared Fogle look exactly the same, don't
I'm
they?
Jared, and I'm John, and welcome to J&J's Subs and Pizzas.
Oh my god.
Sorry,
That's terrifying.
Pedophile racist. Food.
Anyway, there's this movie called Putney Swope. It was directed by Robert Downey Sr. In it, the
There was the senior.
no, there would have to. If there's a junior, there's got to be a senior.
You're right. But
Remember
I just never think about it.
Morton Downey Jr.?
Yeah, him
His-
too.
Okay,
But,
go ahead.
the different person. But anyway, it's about this advertising agency where the board is full of old white men and one black guy, and the president of the company dies, and they have to vote on a new president. They're not allowed to vote for themselves, so they all vote for Putney, who is the black man who is on the board, because they don't think anybody else will. They're like, no one else will vote for him. That's how I get around this. I'll vote.
Who plays that man?
I don't know.
Is it Sidney Poitier?
It's not Grady from Sanford and Son, but
Lawrence Fishburne.
but think of the same kind of
But that's what I'm kind of...
the same kind of gravelly voice.
I was going to say, like, is he...
We don't do war toys.
The unobvious schlub, or the like very well put together, like astute man who is very highly educated.
So in the movies made in 1960s, it would be the quiet,
very- okay.
unassuming
Yeah.
black man trope who was very wise. Like that's that
You mean
trope.
like every other black person
Yeah, the
ever.
magical black
yeah, the magical
Yeah,
black man.
that's like
magical
plotting.
black man.
Except that
Yeah, watch Silver Linings Playbook. Magical black man.
It's
the like legend of
the Legend of Bagger Vance is what it refers
Yeah.
to specifically. Will Smith
So
plays.
was Will Smith a ghost in that movie?
No, he was a magical black man.
But was he a ghost? Because I think...
Oh, he walks away into
he
the
might have been a
cornfields?
ghost.
No, he hangs out
What's
with
the other through line of that movie, that he was a gay?
I don't remember. Anyway, see Putney Swope. It's a really counterculture movie, but yes, like you said, it's time for a black man to be in charge of a pizza restaurant. Oh wait, Herman Cain.
Herman Cain.
Yeah, he was in charge.
he was in charge of Pizza Hut.
It was not Domino's. It was the one that
In
you
Florida.
never hear about. Like there was one in my hometown, and like no one went to it. It
Was
was
it like King's
a ghost
Pizza
town
or something?
No, it was
was it called? Showtime
I
Pizza?
can't- I feel
Papa
so
John's.
bad. I can't even remember. It wasn't Straw Hat. Straw Hat's cool as shit.
Whoa.
Any West Coast people ain't got Straw
It's
Hat.
not
Talking
Mountain
about some
Mike's
Nevada
West
shit.
Coast, right?
No, it's fuck. I literally can't remember. Tweet at me later. We'll talk about it.
At her, bro.
I'll
At
remember
her.
it. I'll
At
I'll
her.
remember it eventually.
Oh, should we talk about Nanette then?
We will after the break.
Oh,
But
great.
now it is time for the internet sensation.
Give me the tray.
Sweeping 92Q. It's time for shoutouts.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Shoutouts.
Shout out.
Everybody.
Oh, can I say one?
No, just say the
Shout
words.
out.
There you go.
Shout out.
All right, this is the part of the show in which we take a break and give Matt props, aka shout-outs, to persons, places, and things that are improving our quality of life and giving us jollies. My shout-out this week is to Natural Ice.
Oh, good one.
I'm really enjoying this.
It's not bad.
It tastes like metal, but it's getting me drunk.
Oh well, it's been sitting in a cooler for 6 hours, so
Yeah, well, I was not about to go up to the comic shop to get that bag.
that's fine. It worked out perfectly. It's
Fine.
It's still cold.
Very good. And, I'll give a preliminary shout-out to Bird, because they've paid me. But who knows?
Come
what the
through
future,
so far.
Pretty tight.
Who knows what the future holds? All right, who's next?
Like I said, I read The Outsider this week. It took me about 28 hours. It was very good.
Who wrote The Outsiders?
S.E. Hinton.
Oh, wow, you were quick with that one.
Stay Golden Pony Boy.
Gotcha.
Yeah, she also wrote
Tom
That Was Then,
Cruise.
This Was Now. She's good. She's good. She wrote that when she was 17. Anyway, The Outsider by Stephen King. It's basically it.
Oh, tight. I'll have to read that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It.
Oh, it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I was like, what?
I know, it was confusing.
It's basically it.
And then I also enjoyed myself at the Barenaked Ladies concert.
Yeah.
We sat on the water beforehand at the Phillips in power plants, at the actual power plant next to Hard Rock, and that was delightful. Good for you, Phillips.
It's fun to be a tourist every once in a while.
Yeah, it really was. It really was.
Yeah, yeah. Can I say a shout out?
Please.
Shout out to... I know this has been kind of controversial, but I don't know if you guys heard that Scarlett Johansson
Yes.
is not going to be a transgender
Yes.
Oh, she's not.
actress in this upcoming. She stepped down. So good on you, Scarlett.
First, because she did a shitty tweet first, though.
She
Yeah.
did.
She
She
did.
She
do
said
a shitty?
she said something shitty first of all.
What'd she say?
You're
Well, she
jealous-
was like, if I can't play this person, talk to all these other people who like played trans, like talk to their agents, the people who like played
Jeffrey
trans
Tambor.
I
people.
just hope that
Which like I sort of get too, but at the same time I was like,
It is.
it's a start. I'm just saying that this is a start that hopefully whoever is booking or
well,
like
because that's the same person who like booked her to play an Asian person in Ghost in a Shell.
Yeah.
Which was like,
Oh yeah.
which really hurt my feelings. Not gonna lie, like
How do you?
that and Aloha. That
I was
movie
gonna
hurts
say,
my
how do you
feelings.
feel about Aloha?
That made me so sad and
No.
upset because the person, the Emma
Stone.
Emma Stone was supposed to be playing was a half white, half Asian, and I was like, "Hey, I'm over here. Hello,
Put me in that movie.
There are many of us who could have played that shit, and like they picked. Anyway, sorry, go on.
damn. No, I'm just
I didn't mean
saying,
to like hijack your
No, I'm
your
just
shout
saying
out.
like this is like the start to hopefully that they do hire a transgender
I hope
actress.
so too, because there are transgender actors out there.
There's a
and-
lot of
and
them,
They
and they're
have trouble
amazing.
getting cast and shit. So
There's
here
this.
You go.
There's. I hate to say it this way. There's one in this commercial for Prep. I don't know what it was, but like the one where like I'm on the pill, I'm on the pill, I'm on the pill, and then this very pretty woman that goes, I'm on the pill, and I'm like, oh, I like your voice. I don't
Wait, what?
It's for Prep.
Prep.
Yeah, it's like it's.
What's prep?
It is a.
It is a place that has advertising that's working.
No. Oh. Well, this will probably help. It's a pill that you take so you don't get AIDS. You don't get HIV.
What?
Gotcha.
Wait, hold on.
Prophylactic.
Whoa.
Yes,
That's awesome.
It's
that.
prophylactics. I was actually wrote a paper on HIV prophylaxis in college.
Yes. So I hope that
That's amazing.
this cute girl with the deep voice gets more work. I liked her.
Nice.
Hey, shout out to 50% of this podcast being hosted by scientists.
Yeah.
This is true right now.
Look at you guys.
Woo. Alyssa, do you have any shout outs?
Yeah. This is gonna sound. I'm 100 billion years old, and I get to
No, you're
everything very slowly. I've been catching up on my podcast, and I've been listening to the second season of the Undisclosed podcast.
Okay.
And they take a deep dive into the killing of Freddie Gray.
Oh.
And it is wild.
Oh,
They
this is-
send out
wait,
like
is that
some
locally
journalists,
produced?
and it's no, not really.
The Real News Network doesn't have anything to do with it. 'Cause
Well, they have one. They have a podcast about, but they're right now they're
Sean
investigating.
Suter, I think.
Yeah, but like the Undisclosed is the lady who is family friends with Adnan Syed,
Yes.
who from Serial.
Gotcha.
She started her podcast after Serial became a thing, and they kept investigating Adnan's case, but then they moved on to other cases, and they have in their second season. It's old. They're like they're like on to other cases now, but like I'm like listening to their back catalog, and their second season is all about Freddie Gray, and they have like a couple investigative journalists. They have like college professors like helping them out with the season.
Cool.
And it is fucking wild. It'll make you like upset, but it'll make you like happy that the podcast exists. It's super good. It's really well produced.
And if we're saying nice things about podcasts, I know I ride the dick for Teen Creeps, which is great.
Oh my god, my sister loves that.
It's the best.
It's like
They
her
just
favorite.
put out their new book schedule. It's nothing but like Fear Street books and
Yeah.
some VC Andrews stuff and Sweet Valley. I'm super stoked.
Right on.
Oh, yeah, and a belated reiterating my earlier shout out to the Rude Cooking School podcast that I was a guest on, and you've been a guest on.
No, but we've forgotten a very important shout out.
I'm sorry?
Guys,
Yeah.
shout out to Casey.
Oh, fuck!
Not
We are horrible people!
We're bad friends.
We are terrible people!
Bad friends. Guys, Casey had his baby.
Yeah, he had a baby.
I don't know. He's a weirdo. I don't know if he wants to say the baby's name.
Yeah.
So we're just going to continue to call the child Cannon Cochran.
Yeah, Cannon. Johnny Cannon Cochran.
Yeah. Mother, like a trooper. A
Oh,
lot of
man.
labor.
A lot of
labor.
A lot of time was spent. They're still in the hospital.
In 3 days, he was risen. But yeah, they're still hanging out.
Yeah.
So way to go, Amber. Casey, you were fine.
Not only did that happen, but also Casey broke his foot.
Yeah. He's like, I was just walking and I stubbed my toe because my name's Casey.
Yeah.
That's
Casey.
It's just the Caseyest thing to happen.
My name is Casey.
Right. 2 weeks, so we've turned all
Just kidding. Okay. All right. We will be right back. Oh, time to play. What's the bumper?
Boo, 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 boo.
Anybody? Got an audio clip in mind that we ought to break up the two halves of the show?
Do you guys have any clips on YouTube or anything?
Yeah, I got clips.
All right, we'll find some of those.
Got
I got clips.
Clips on clips on
All right,
clips.
we'll play some clips.
It's my new favorite thing to do.
All right, we'll be right back, and then we're going to talk about comedy. Thank you.
I've made up my own little meditation. It's kind of like similar to that, like, you know, one that's like in the moment when you're having a hard moment, like inhale what you need and like exhale what you don't need, you know, that kind of meditation. So I was at McDonald's and I was in the drive-thru and I was like, okay, and I just grabbed my meal and I pulled over and I was like, I pulled out and I pulled into a parking spot. So I was like, okay, maybe I am emotionally eating right now. Maybe I am. So I like sat there for a minute and I really thought about it, but I like inhaled 2 double cheeseburgers and then I exhaled fucking America's obsession with skinny women. Notice how only women were doing that.
I feel like people they try to pick up people at the club. I like to go to the nightclub because then you get to listen to all the music you pretend to hate during the rest of the week. Like, I've just never met anybody who likes Pitbull on a Wednesday. It's just not a thing. Last time I was there, they were playing a song. It was like, party like it's your last night on Earth. So I spent the entire time crying in the corner because I hadn't accomplished anything yet. It was tight.
Okay, we are back from break. We've got an update for our viral sensation.
Casey, while he's out, still is sending us content.
Oh my God, yes he is. Because this one is taking off like a rocket. I mean, look, to be fair, it came from Reddit.
Yeah.
the Baltimore subreddit.
Right.
Casey found it, though.
But now it's on our page.
Now it's going to make us $1 million.
Everyone's
Everyone's going to be clicking through that Amazon link that I didn't post. And you know,
Congrats.
earning us lots of money and likes.
So what this
all
is,
the internet dollars.
It's the Ratatouille
Yes.
DVD cover with Lexington Market put in place of the Ratatouille.
That's us making a reference to a thing we spoke about earlier.
I hope they were listening
A
through
callback, if you will, for
In the world of
comedy.
comedy,
Thank you.
How many likes is it up to?
141,
Wow.
3,000.
3,000.
Just kidding.
Barack Obama shared it.
3,630 people have seen this photo. And on Instagram, it's got, let's see here, about 73 likes. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, it's good for us. You know, it's like paltry when you look at a guy like that asshole you were talking about earlier who probably gets like 400 likes on any piece of shit video
He gets
that
like
posts.
190 comments. It's potatoes. What did I call him?
Potatoes.
Yeah, it's got 2 S's. I don't
Two
know.
S's.
I don't want people to follow him and like him.
Yeah, don't
He's just mean to me.
give him the attention.
All right, we are here back again talking about now some comedy.
Yeah, so we're here with Nicki and Alyssa.
Yeah. There's a thing going on.
Did you just boo yourself?
No, I said, what up?
Oh, what up?
Oh, dude, she's just super chill.
Well, the reason
chill.
she's here, I mean, primarily is to talk about a little thing at Artscape that's going on.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Next week.
Yeah, I'm hosting LOL at Artscape. It's the after hours portion of Artscape in Baltimore. I'm sure everybody that listens to this podcast has heard of Artscape.
You would be correct.
Yeah, like this is a huge thing for Baltimore. So I don't know if a lot of people know that there's an after hours like whole fucking get down, and it's not just comedy. There's like karaoke and DJ,
Trap
like,
music.
Yeah, like all of it. Anything that
Baltimore
you
Club.
could ever.
Caitlin, will, you know, if there's
Yeah.
if there's a Baltimore Club, Caitlin will be there.
Yeah.
TT the artist is performing. No, she's not.
So TLC is headlining
Fuck
the
yeah.
main stage on Friday night, which is like the most amazing
Dagger.
thing I've ever heard. Like, I'm
Working.
just super stoked. And yeah, like, so I'm hosting the comedy show portion, which Alyssa is on. So
Yes,
Nice.
hello. I'm
She's-
on the Friday night one.
yeah, she's on the Friday night. We've got Brian Preston. He'll be
Friend of the show.
Yeah. He'll be on. I can't remember what day he's on. Maybe Saturday. And a whole bunch of other great Baltimore comics. And
Violet Gray, person I know.
Yes,
She's
Violet.
doing.
She's
She
Headlining.
related to Sasha Grey?
No, no, very different, very different.
Okay.
She was just on a Wyatt Cenac special or some kind of thing,
His
right?
TV show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really cool
What's
stuff.
the title
She's
of
a
that? Because
killer.
I know it's on HBO, but I forget the name of it.
Late Night with Wyatt Cenac or something.
No, it's called like
The Tonight Show
Out
with
of
Wyatt
Boundaries
Cenac.
or something like that.
Oh, maybe.
Caitlin really likes it. I would, if she was here, she'd know. But they're both hosts of the Laugh Finder podcast, who we
Problem
really
Areas
enjoy.
is the title.
Oh yeah, Brian and Violet. Yep, along with Tommy Sabazzo. That's really it. Like, I just wanted to come on and make sure everybody knew about that. It starts at 9, and it's the address is 1727 North Charles Street. It's big improv theater. There's been like bros shows there before. Like, it's a really, really cool venue, and it's actually become even nicer now that Big is inhabiting it full time. And they're doing improv before the 9 to 11 comedy shows. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes,
it's free.
and improv fans come out.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was an amazing yes and
Thank you.
improv fans come out.
Thank you, everyone.
You guys, Nikki, I've known you for like 6-7 years at this
Yeah.
point, for a real long time. I know a bit about how you've come up. Alyssa, guys, tell us how you came up in the Baltimore comedy scene. Tell us about the Baltimore comedy scene, what it's like.
Is it as small as I think it is?
Yeah, you know.
It's getting bigger and bigger every day.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
feel
good.
like there's always more like shows coming up. The only grief I have with the Baltimore comedy scene is that every open mic has like the weirdest fucking schedule I've ever heard of. They're like, we're on every first, third, and fourth Tuesdays, but then sometimes we're only on this one Tuesday. Like, all of them are
Yeah.
like that, but like if you can get past that, it's tight.
I would like to note, first of all, Brian Preston, not only a friend of the show, a friend of mine from way back. We went to college together. He's one of the funniest goddamn people I've ever met.
So funny.
He's a cool dude.
And
funny.
so and
He
getting
came to Emo Prom.
Yeah,
We got to slow dance. I was like, you have to come because I'm not slow dancing with anybody else, so we're going to slow dance.
What song did
tight.
you slow dance to?
Barely remember.
Good.
We were fucking.
there were some substances
Shit.
involved.
My
Shithouse.
shoes became off.
Yeah.
By the end of the evening.
Dude, I remember you like frolicking on the stage, and I was like, "Man, Nikki's living her best life,
I'm
my
living my best
dudes."
My
I get to
dudes.
perform on that stage again, so I was just like having this like
Yeah.
really cool moment of like being an artist at Autobar and like being an audience member
That's
at
fun.
Autobar and being like on.
Super
It's
tight.
really tight.
We got to do a live show soon. Anyway.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was just saying you should let some comedians open your podcast for you.
I love that
we
idea.
could have an opening act.
I love that
That'd be
idea.
crazy.
But for me, Baltimore has been kind of rough. I'm not gonna lie. It's been very cliquey. There's a lot of I don't know, just like people only like who they like, and if you're not, a part of that, you're not a part of that. So
So you get your start doing the open nights. Like, are there certain open nights that are like, I don't want to say slumming it, but
yeah, the later night mic. Okay, so there's a thing. It's called open mic night, and then there's called like shows, and they're kind of like different. And like a showcase is supposed to be a little bit more professional, and an open mic is anything goes.
gotcha.
So
You said it's cliquey. In the days of Amy Schumer and Ali Wong, and I don't remember. I didn't watch I didn't watch it yet, so I don't know who
Hannah
did.
Gadsby.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Thank you. Who did Nanette? Is it? I know the answer is going to be no, but I must ask the question: is it easier to be a woman's comic
Yes.
today?
I feel
Yes.
I feel like that in terms of comedy, like women are on the upswing, like
what
big
do you,
time.
What do you mean by like easier?
I mean,
Yeah.
are people more willing the chicks aren't funny, man? Like that fight seems to be. I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, it's settled. It was never really a problem, but it's
Yeah.
women are funny.
I mean, I feel like I've always had personally, because like I didn't start doing comedy in Baltimore. I started in Nevada, northern Nevada, and I've had more of a problem with the other comedians than I have with anybody in the crowd.
Yeah.
Because anybody in the crowd, they'll come up to you and say something shitty, and then you're like, all right. And then that's the only time you interact with them.
Right.
But then you experience the other comics in the scene, and that's where it starts to become like a problem.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Clicky. That's how I was trying to say it. It's clicky, and people, they have these egos that need to, be projected onto other comedians. It's just like it's a whole thing. And by yes, I mean yes, I think in Baltimore specifically, it's really great to be a woman right now because I don't know, I'm trying to produce shows with only ladies
there's
on it.
There's a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, and people are way more willing to be even at the open mics, I know hosts that'll be like, hey, women get first priority, so that they know when they come that they will get up instead of having to wait until 2:00 in the morning and then walking back to their car alone, or doing all this, being out too. It's just a lot.
Do you find that, do you get unfairly compared to maybe an Amy Schumer? Is it, I would think that along with making women comics accessible, comedy accessible to women, she's also almost a stumbling block. Whereas because she's the biggest,
I agree.
I think so. Yeah, I think
agree.
so. Definitely.
I don't like using her as the top tier example.
Well, I'd say Rita Rudner, but I don't know if she's relevant.
Yeah,
Paula Poundstone.
I was like, you ever get compared to Paula Poundstone?
I love Paula Poundstone so much. Don't even get me started.
Paula, come on.
Because did you look historically? I mean, there have been amazingly successful women comics. It's just that I think through the sort of what she's talking about in terms of the clickiness is, a bunch of dudes who, let's face it, a lot of male comedians are just miserable people.
Yeah.
And that's how they channel that misery. I can't tell you how many times I've seen open mic nights or stand-up comedy in Baltimore where it's just like, I'm single. I don't have anybody in my life. It's like, yeah, okay, great joke.
75% of all of the comedians that are at the open mic say that.
Right, exactly. So it's essentially a bunch of miserable dudes shitting on girls that are trying to actually do a thing.
They're not going to fuck me anyway.
And I would, exactly. I would just say ignore them whole cloth. Fuck those guys. Fuck them. They're not funny. But
it's hard to say that when they're the ones that book all of the shows that you can get on in Baltimore.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Or DC.
Well, that's the thing that comes up, especially in DC. If you're trying to branch out and get into that scene, that's a lot of creepy dudes running shows.
Yeah, it's a lot of creepy dudes running shows and a lot of weird conversations.
I honestly, there's a lot of overlap between the comedy world and the comic book world. It's,
oh yeah.
There's a lot of just creepy dudes having terrible conversations, thinking that they're hilarious. And they just tend not to be.
Well, there's that, and I don't know if you probably had the same problem with this, Nicki, where guys will be okay with you, but the minute they find out you could possibly be funnier than them, they're like, whoa, wait a minute, and then they start getting weird incel on you, and you're like,
dude, I won't get booked because of there are specific people in DC where I've been on shows with them. They've seen me do well, and then they never booked me again. But they were on the same show as me,
right? They were at the same place,
and I'm only getting funnier, right? We're not getting, you know what I mean? So it's it's just becoming harder, actually, to do comedy in Baltimore, unless you're producing your own shows, which actually Alyssa and I do.
Yeah, I would say then, fuck those guys. Do it yourself.
You put on a show. And that I really enjoy, and I don't know if you want to mention it, but we don't have to. But or what the show is, but it's a fucking lot of creativity, and
it was a lot of fun. We don't do it anymore, unfortunately, but I have other ones now. But
right,
it's all the same idea. I've been just trying to come up with these ideas for shows, but it's just at the end of the day, it's just not enough anymore.
I'm sure as much as you enjoy saying adversity really helps me spread my wings. You could say, but what if you also made it easier every once in a while?
Right. What if it was tolerable to live all the time?
Could I just be on some shows? But I guess the point to that is, so Alyssa and I have teamed up to produce comedy which is amazing, and that's fun, and that's in
been a
Baltimore.
hoot.
And it's called one of the shows that we do is called Booze Clues, which is
Awesome.
really tight. It's like 4 comedians go up sober, and then they get really drunk, and then they go back and one of them's high, not drunk, and you have to vote who.
So
Wait, you have to decide.
Yeah, you have
who's-
to. The
The
crowd has to
audience,
figure
yeah.
out
Who's drunk and who's
the
high?
high person.
And then
I feel
the
like I
high
would win that
person-
every time.
Yeah,
oh,
but
they
then
do. Yeah,
they do.
the last, yeah. The
Yeah.
last couple ones, they were like, "Yeah, that guy's high," and we're like,
Yeah.
"Not us."
it's
And
not
they
nec-
get to do more comedy because they're high and not drunk.
it's not necessarily a game that anybody loses.
Nobody knows. It's just a fun audience, and like it's also a different type of show, right? It's
Yeah.
not anything you've seen in Baltimore yet.
No, that's amazing. How
Yeah.
how do you get them drunk? Like, is like you just
We
line
just
up?
open a tab.
we just tell them to go crazy on the tab,
Gotcha.
and then we let them go. Like some people, it's so funny. Someone was like, "I barfed after that
Yeah.
show," and I was like, "We let you guys drink as much as you want or as little."
Like it's
I'm
up
so
to you,
sorry.
bro. Like,
That was the time though I brought the Jack Daniels
Yeah.
and put it in my friend's car and was like, "We're gonna go to the Why Not lot. We're
So-
gonna drink it in the lot."
To me, this is like an idea like drunk history. It's like
I was
once
just about to
once
say
you
that.
hear it, like it's something that you're like, God damn it, that's just so perfect. I can't believe like it hasn't existed before.
I do feel like though. So does the? I feel like people that are. It could go either way. So, stoned comedy can be very funny, or it can just be like people just being like, and drunk people can be wildly unfunny because they're just fucked up. Like they're just like.
the good news is we hire professional comedians.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie, we were like, to an extent, when we book the show, we kind of cheat because the people that we have get high like probably perform high normally.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
or
like-
get really drunk normally.
Exactly.
Your Brian Prestons of the world are gonna perform very well.
Exactly.
Yeah,
on-
we should put
on-
him on the next show, by the way.
We should.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a great idea.
That's a great idea.
I haven't.
Brian, you're booked if you're listening.
Yeah,
He's not.
Brian,
He is
shout
not.
out to
I
Brian.
know. We'll tell him to
I'm
look
gonna send him
then.
this link.
Be like,
No, I remember
He's on a
back,
successful
back in
podcast.
college, and I don't give a shit about telling this story. Like, we were all on acid that day in college, and late at night we were sitting around in this guy's dorm room, and he was like weaving these narratives about the Harriet Tubman tunnels and just all this random bullshit that is his thing, and we were dying laughing, like
Yep,
dying.
sounds like Towson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. This was St. Mary's.
Which is like Towson
no
near water.
shit. Yeah, and I know. I grew up near St. Mary's.
there you go.
I just went to Towson because I was too poor. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, where's
It's a
St.
Towson
Mary's?
joke. It's in St. Mary's County, on
Southern
a farm.
There's
it's on
a
farm.
county for it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Tight.
It's a whole.
It's
thing.
also a city.
Oh my god, I'm
Yeah.
learning a lot today.
It's a crazy. So, anyways, back to Baltimore comedy.
And that's your Maryland Minute.
Yeah.
Continue, Nikki.
No, but I guess what I was just trying to say is like, I don't know. I guess part of what my experience has been trying to build a solid foundation for women in the community.
Cool.
So I found this thing in LA called the Clitorati, and I brought it to Baltimore. And so I put on a show once a month for women
Under their aegis, like, or
under the Clitorati.
like, in radio we always said, if it's good, steal it. Did you steal it, or are you like?
No, I work directly with the creator.
That's awesome.
She wants it to go national, so she's
Nice.
the writer for Jimmy Kimmel.
Cool.
Like she's killing it in LA right now. She got signed with fucking awesome. So, so brought that here, and then I feel like that's why my answer was yes. I do think it's starting to get easier for women in Baltimore because we're starting to find our power, because we're starting to empower each other, which was something that was not existent when I first started comedy.
It is the hashtag Me Too era. Is that? I mean, is it all just? Is everybody just saying fuck it? Come on, like we're
No.
tired of this shit.
I don't think it actually has anything to do with Me Too and everything to just do with like we want to connect as like individuals. Like
I feel like it's been a long time coming.
yeah. And I think Me Too has been its own thing, but this isn't really about like being sexually harassed or sexually assaulted. This is just about, hey, we want to. So the idea of the Clitorati specifically is to write material without the male gaze.
Okay.
It's very important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, absolutely. I don't
It's
think
very
I mean,
important
the-
for women.
The two things are sort of they're exclusive from one another, but they kind of run in parallel about, in my mind, like this resurgence of ladies taking charge.
Yes.
Ladies doing their own thing.
Finding their power.
I think doing it
Yeah.
for themselves is what we're trying to say.
Yeah, it's like not about
Sisters.
men anymore. And like, I'm not saying comedy's always been about men, but it has, unfortunately, in the way that we're told what we can and can't say, how we can and can't look, and all of these things. That all comes from men.
Right. Like when I think about my favorite funny ladies of the past, and we've
Funny ladies of the
funny.
past.
All I can think is
PowerPoint
Phyllis
presentation.
Diller, yeah.
No. First off, Phyllis Diller, yes, because I was. But
She rules.
But like Cloris Leachman, Terry Garr in Young Frankenstein is
Joan Rivers.
Joan Rivers.
Joan. I just watched her fucking special, but it's like a documentary. It's called Piece of Work.
Yeah.
And it's about her. And I was
I thought the intro to that was fucking amazing because it's basically just a high white shot of her. You can't really see her in full, but she's putting on her makeup, and it's just it's a very fascinating documentary because it essentially details how she just can't fucking stop working, and then finally just died because she had like some sort of surgical procedure going on.
Yeah. I feel like that's me almost. Like, I literally can't stop doing comedy or science, like, ever. But that's an aside.
Comedy or science?
Yeah.
Yeah, me
it's
too.
It's crazy. I just went to work today, and, like, I performed last night. I'm performing, like, all week. Working. You know, it's just, like, this thing. It's, like, instead of relationships, let me just, like, do what I love.
Your day job makes you do comedy there, too.
They do. They do.
It would be simplifying to say that you work blue. You work honest.
Yeah, I'm a special case.
Is that a problem? Is that a problem when you do comedy at your job, or is like, guys, you know what the problem with test tubes are? Like,
so initially I did it sort of like that, but with a woman's twist. So the first time I performed for them, it was International Women's Day. So I did all women in science jokes, and I fucking nailed it. Like, it was really great. They really loved it. It's actually on my website. The video is like, it's all just like silly women in science jokes.
I really like you posted it.
Did you make a lot of fuck?
Can I
no.
tell you one of the jokes? It's just like a little.
I hope it's the one I
Yes,
like. Yes, you
please.
tell
It
me.
probably is.
Because I'll get it.
What did the male scientist say to the female scientist?
I don't know what.
Nothing. He just interrupted her.
I also
Yes.
like the one where the male scientists take 45 minutes to bat around whatever idea you just had like an hour ago, and then go with the same exact thing you said.
Yeah. When you fucking found the problem to the equation, and they were like, "Oh no, I found the problem to the equation." An hour after I did.
That's amazing. Alyssa, what is your day job? Do you even want to?
I'm a print production manager at a nonprofit.
Okay.
So I don't know if I should say the nonprofit, but we work in end of life issues.
Oh, okay. That's.
Stella Maris.
Are you able to delve into the comedy of your job? I'm shaking my head. No.
I mean, I guess I don't. I mean, aside from like my dad being dead, I like write about that, and it sort of has to do with like what I do, but not really, honestly. I just.
How long ago did your dad pass away?
He died in August of 2015.
Oh,
so like long enough ago to where I like should stop harping on it as much as I do.
No, don't
but-
say that ever.
Okay.
No,
fine.
because
Talk about
yeah,
it
my
as much
father.
as you need to.
My father died 16 years ago, and it's like
It sucks.
It doesn't
like,
go away.
It
No,
doesn't.
it doesn't.
Yeah,
So
it
stop
doesn't
believing that
feel
it will.
a little better. Like, because I write material about it. I'm like the kind of person that like I'll write in my journal and be like, oh, I'm writing to my dad, dear dad. Like
Yeah.
I write to dead people in my journal all the time. It's real creepy.
I don't know. I'm honestly your love of the written word and letters is super
Dude.
endearing. So
I
like,
love letters so much. I had I've kept all my letters that anyone's ever sent me.
oh my god.
And,
I have a lot of
I
letters
still
from
have
my
like
family.
letters that I received when I was at summer camp
I say I'd love to have my camp
Yes!
letters.
from people.
Oh my god, I did a.
Quick question, Nicki, do you have any Rosalind Franklin jokes?
Only about microscopes, but I think she was more about
X-ray.
Yeah, X-ray. So no, I don't. But that's a good one. I'm gonna
It's
write.
a deep
I have
cut.
to-
Deep cut.
Yeah.
I think it's tight.
All right, so this came up organically, so I don't have to feel weird about it.
Yeah, we gotta talk about it.
All four of us sitting here are sitting here minus a parent.
Yeah.
Nicki, like I said, I've known you for a while. You have used your mom is dead. You've used that in your comedy forever, and you've talked about it forever. You were one of the people when my mom died in September. You were one of the people I looked to. And how do you treat this scenario? Like, it can be funny.
Yeah,
like
it's if nothing, it is not fucking ironic. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, no. How long did it take you to like? Is it easy to write jokes about like?
It is so easy to actually write. It's really hard to say it out loud without being in pain.
Sure.
And everybody knows when you're in pain. So you have to be ready and not in pain to tell your jokes and for them to be funny.
So you have to like approach it from a place where this is just funny. This doesn't have to be about me hurting.
Because they can sense it. It's just this weird thing. I mean, for the last 4 years, like you said, you've seen it. Once I've done a lot of work on this specific situation of my mom and her death. And I will just say that I had so much to say in the beginning when I was a new comedian. And I think that's why a lot of people shied away from me, because it was very emotional very soon. Not after she died, but that I was doing stand-up. I didn't know what I was doing. Like I had no idea what I was talking about. And I think over time I kind of like put it away and I like worked on it internally. And then I've been coming back with it and it's becoming like I'm okay internally about it to the point where people can find it funny because I find it funny.
I wonder, were you approaching it from a place where, as a comedian, where you can be like, oh, look how edgy I am?
No, it was never about edge. It was always about, this is so weird. How is it that I got my period at my mom's funeral for the first time? Like, that's bizarre.
That is bizarre.
That she died on Valentine's Day. Like, how crazy. Like, these things could be punchlines. Not because they're edgy, but because it's my life.
Gotcha.
That it's never about edge. It's always about truth for me.
That's like, go.
But yeah, that also is going to tie into the next thing that we're going to talk about. But this idea that stand-up comedy should just be ha 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 the whole time, and we're finding more and more that these performers are making it an actual sort of like fully emotional
experience.
Like a roller coaster, essentially. Like your
your comedy is my tragedy.
That's Phyllis Diller. Her tragedy is her comedy.
Right. Exactly. It's been, for me, it's been a really interesting way to like. I was always the funny guy, I've never been ambitious enough or brave enough to like do what you guys do. Like,
sorry, ambitious and brave to do stand up.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, you're killing me already.
No, it's I don't know. That's
if you had seen some of the clowns I've seen fucking doing open mic. You're like,
Brian,
you're so much cooler.
I was going to say, between the two of us, we're more equipped to do this kind of thing than most of these open mic
Oh, absolutely.
I think we should do a podcast where you guys try fucking stand up at an open mic and then we talk about it.
We could
afterwards.
literally stand next to each other and just talk shit to each other, and it would be funnier than some of these assholes.
Hey, what did the Pink Panther say when he stepped on an ant? I don't know what.
That fucking rules. That's already better
Nailed it!
than like
5 minute
so
open
many
mic
5 minute
male
sets I've
comics.
seen.
That was not planned. I just knew it.
Yeah.
That's because I'm old.
Because he watched Revenge of the Nerds last week.
No, I did
like
not.
I did.
That movie has a rape scene in it.
It does. It does.
You'd be surprised how many fucking 80s movies have like
Yeah.
rape scenes and nobody saw it as like an actual rape scene.
Yeah, there's definitely somebody at Huffington Post that's just combing through every single 80s movie.
Top 20 80s rape scenes.
This is why this 80s movie is problematic.
There's a 24-year-old Columbia grad working at BuzzFeed. Just It's her big think piece.
But not Gawker.
But not anymore.
Because they're out of business.
Gawker got bought by the guy who started Bustle. Nobody wants to hear this like inside talk about the blogs I read.
That. All right, so let's transition.
Is that's the transition?
That's one of them.
That's
we actually have a couple of them.
Dude, I love your soundboard.
Thank you. Here's another one.
Oh, I like that
And
one.
this
That
is
one's
the third
soothing. That was a lot like the previous one, but I still like it.
So you won't get this at all, but those two transition sound effects are from a show called Rock, which was on Fox in the 90s. It took place in Baltimore, and the main character, Rock, was a trash collector.
It starred Charles S. Dutton.
Yeah.
From Rudy and
Jamie Foxx was
Alien
on it.
3.
No shit.
Yeah, it's
That's for real.
That's
right.
tight.
I don't know why 4 or 5 years ago I was like, I gotta add these as transition sound effects. Anyway.
They're tight.
Yeah, they're not bad.
Don't question yourself ever.
I will
Don't
not. I
question.
won't. I won't. Stop
Okay.
abusing me. Ow.
Okay, tight.
All right, let's talk about this Nanette special because apparently you guys it resonated highly with you, and then we will.
It was a lot.
Well, Brian did not mention this to me at all that I should watch this thing.
I blew it. I'm glad you guys watched
You're
it.
a
was like,
terrible,
hey.
terrible, terrible, terrible person. Part of this show,
But I did remember to tell Nicki about shout outs and shut ups.
Yeah.
Why do you do no show prep whatsoever?
What are you talking about?
What's wrong with you?
Who called these people?
Yeah, I know, but you didn't like tell anyone to watch Nanette because
I forgot. I was busy.
Well, Nicki told me to watch Nanette.
Yeah, I like forced.
Well, maybe I felt like there was something that they should just see anyway, regardless of this show.
I was going to watch it.
I was
right.
gonna watch it too because so many like male comedians I saw were like so
many.
mad about it.
So you guys want to
So
talk about it,
mad.
Nanette?
All right, where is Nanette? Where can we see it? What's it about? And why are male comedians angry?
That is a wonderful setup.
Thank you.
It is. So it's on Netflix. You can see it. It is Hannah Gadsby. She is an Australian comedian. She put out this special called Nanette. And go on Netflix. And the guys, dude comedians are mad about it because it's one of those things where it calls out the problems in society. And then so people will look at it and be like, they'll get defensive. And, like, a lot of people who get defensive probably have some sort of role in the problem.
Right.
Because otherwise you wouldn't get defensive. You'd just be like, yeah, man, it's a problem. I'm trying to help out. Right? So I think that's one of the reasons why men get offended. And also there are parts of it that are not... So it is a comedy special through and through. It's very good. It's very funny.
Amazing.
The whole thing's very solid. The writing is incredible.
She's so
but
smart.
there are parts that are not like, LOL, oh my god, laugh out loud funny. There are parts that are very hurtful and are very uncomfortable. And she like actually is very honest about what she's talking about. And those are the parts that people will be like, well, that's not comedy. That part right there is not comedy. And but those are still included. And overall, as an overall piece, I think it's beautiful. Honestly, I think it's a really, really awesome piece of work. And if that's what comedy is drifting toward in 2018, then that's fucking tight.
I have no problem with that whatsoever. And I think that if you're talking about, women in comedy, like they're probably more equipped to bring that to the table
Fuck yeah.
as a performance. And the only other thing that I've seen, special-wise, stand-up-wise, is Neil Brennan. He had a special where he has 2 microphones on the stage. One microphone is for one-liner jokes, and the other is like he just unloads his anxiety and his childhood and this and that and the other. So to me, it really, all of it has introduced like this new level of performance that I think is very valuable. Like, everyone needs to sort of sit in their seat, be able to laugh and cry in the same sitting.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what Nanette made me do. I mean, I ugly cried 3 fucking separate times.
Oh yeah, like I was crying during that thing, and I was like laughing out loud.
Me
and
too.
Like, and the thing is, like, when you've done like comedy for long enough, you get to a point where where stuff stops making you laugh.
Yes.
You like
Oh,
things. Like things just get less
that's
funny
funny.
to you. Yeah, like you're just like,
I
that's good.
Yeah,
Good job.
you know
that's
good, but you're not going to laugh at
Yes.
it.
No, I call that the Jerry Seinfeld effect because he's such a technician about jokes that he'll just be like, yeah, that's funny. he knows what's funny, but doesn't laugh at it. He's
Right.
just kind of like,
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Exactly.
to
That's
comedians,
exactly
yeah.
where that's the point you get to after you've been
But
doing it
she
for a while.
made me laugh out loud.
Oh, me too. I laughed out loud so many times during that whole special because it was so funny and so creative. A lot of
Yeah.
what she was doing and how she tied it together.
She was
And
just-
you would start crying because some of the stories she was telling you, and you were like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like it really resonates. Like I don't know, like just as like from thinking, she needs to quit comedy to just talking about like the degree that she never did anything with. It's all relatable. It's all completely relatable to another female comedian like me.
Yeah,
I mean, I aspire to fucking write something like that.
The reasons that she lists for possibly wanting to quit comedy are the same reasons that I have actually quit comedy.
Yeah,
many times.
All valid reasons. All valid. And I mean, there comes a point in your comedy where you have to decide, like, is this going to be for them or is it going to be for you? And I think she came to that precipice and like worked that shit out on stage, and it was so beautiful that, like I said, that is the definition of what I've always seen myself doing, is being able to be raw, real about the things that have traumatized me and being able to give them punchlines.
Now, don't you feel dumb for not watching?
Yeah.
No, listen. So
Sorry, I'm trolling.
No. I have to go home. If I have one job while Caitlin's away, I gotta fucking clean the house. Especially the basement. So I have a lot of time to sit in front of a TV, and I feel like and play with comic books. So I feel like.
But you are a white guy, so you might get offended.
You
She
know what?
does call people out, but the thing is, like, if
It's
you feel
all valid.
if you feel that like defensive about what she's saying, then
You're a part of the problem.
You're probably part of
No,
the problem.
so here's the thing. As a white guy, I have found an incredibly easy way to live in 2018. If somebody says
I love this.
if somebody says something's fucked up, my answer is okay.
Sounds good.
I'm on board. Great.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
That's what you need to do.
like-
basically accept it.
So
yeah.
that's all
That
she's
was that was Brian's initial response to feminism.
Oh no! Well, no. My answer for feminism. Feminism? Yeah, sure. What the fuck? Like, I'm on board.
Sounds good.
Are you not? Yeah. Are you? You don't like
Not
that?
hurting you.
I think I got this way. Like I said, I worked in black radio, spending time at 92Q. Like they would show me like, right. Friday night at Club Choices. It's amazing.
It's open again.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, that's great. Like just having conversations with my friends before the words white privilege ever became in like the cultural lexicon.
sure.
They were telling me, like, it's like, oh, I'm driving, like, oh, I got all this weed. I'm driving to Ocean City this weekend. Got some joints rolled. They're like, shit, man. Like, you white guys get to smoke with the way down.
Yeah.
That makes total sense to me.
Yeah.
That sounds like the world I live in. So
sure.
if she's calling out people, honestly, cool. I'll take something new from my arsenal to know here's something I got to work on, and I'll work on it. I know who I was 5 years ago. I know who I am now. I know who I was 10 years ago. I know who I am now. They're different people. Like
Sure, even like same here. Like I'm not
Yeah.
like I am not completely a white person, but I'm still half a white person, and like I realize that I've made some fucking mistakes.
right, like I'm Jewish. I'm on a list, but I'm passing pretty
Right.
good.
This is the
You know?
You're
weekly
killing it, my
update that
dude.
Brian
Right.
is on a list.
Like, but that being said, no, I get to walk around a white guy until they tell me I'm not.
There's still a fair amount of like progress that you like, just the fact that you like recognize it and like think about it and have some sort of empathy for people who have a different situation, a different experience. I feel like that's like fucking tight.
Definitely
And,
a start for sure.
yeah, and that's literally all she's saying in
Exactly.
a lot of in a lot of the
just acknowledge
special.
it.
Yeah.
Just acknowledge that, like, look,
Like-
there are so many different.
And she addresses that so many times in the special too, where she's just like, I know I'm going after straight white men. I know it.
And it's funny because she also makes fun of the fact that she looks like a straight white man too, which is
Yes.
like so funny.
God
know?
damn, she's so funny.
She's so good. Like
so
so,
jealous.
it's like it's a really great experience And it's definitely comedy, and it's the comedy that I want to write, and it's the comedy that needs to keep on going.
It's the sort of comedy that actually like accomplishes something while it's existing in its own realm,
which
in
I
itself.
think most comedians strive for, is something that they want to be able to speak their truths
Sure.
and try and change the world while they do it.
I went to see Paul Mooney, who wrote for Pryor. He was on this Chappelle show.
Where did you see him at?
At the.
I remember.
Was this a Soundgarden, or how long ago was this?
Oh, this was 5-6 years ago.
Soundgarden?
Oh, okay. No, I heard
He was opening for Soundgarden, Black Hole.
No,
Wait, there's like there's a shop.
No,
in
it was
South
down
Point.
in Power Plant, whatever the one, Comedy Factory.
Oh, okay.
So
Before
I
they
mean,
moved. Before
so
it moved.
Oh, okay.
so yeah, Paul Mooney. Google him. Do yourself a favor. Blow your fucking afternoon at work. Just do nothing but watch Paul Mooney videos.
Speaking of
Definitely
the Chappelle show,
recommend.
like
Definitely.
He was, and I just to keep the cadence, Enarachi, I think he was. No, he had the Enardamus.
yes.
He told the future.
No, it was Negrodamus.
Negrodamus?
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
it was.
fine.
But they also had a segment just entitled with like MS Paint graphics. It was like Ask a Black Man or something
with Paul
like that.
Mooney.
Yeah.
So his entire show was nothing but yelling at white people.
Yeah.
And I am.
That's tight.
And what's really interesting is I don't know if he requests it or just because there just so happened to be a room full of black people. 50% of the white people at the show were at our table, and 50% were at a table up front probably because they paid for it, and then just whatever. The people at our table, including
I remember how this ends.
the people at our table, including Caitlin, sat there in silence the entire show, whereas I just lose my shit the entire time. And at one point, he's like, "I'm gonna talk to you white people." It's like, not you fake white people, Jews. I'm talking to
And
you.
then
I'm talking to you, real white people.
What did you do?
I just went, "Ha!" Like, and the only person in the room, and like, I feel like what you're saying about Nanette is the same kind of thing. It's the line between stand up and humorism, I guess. You know, Mark Twain wasn't a stand up comic, but Mark Twain would get on a stage and make you laugh and make you think and, you know, make you cry. And that's the line, you know?
Yeah, I think
Lily
that's-
Tomlin, I think, walks that line.
Yeah, I just think that comedy is ever evolving, and people who want to just keep mainly male comics, they just want to keep it as like this one linear aspect of like, this is how comedy should be. The brilliant part about Hannah is that intertwining through her whole set, she's still explaining how comedy works, like setup, punchline, premise. Like, she literally talks about the write-up of it, and so it's like, you know, she knows what she's doing, right? It's not like she just like, this is her first special, and she's been like, this is like some very
It's a masterclass.
It exactly, and it's like very thought out.
She's telling you how it's done in such a way that she's doing it while telling you how it's done and making you laugh while doing all of that all together.
While doing all of that and more. Because it's like, she's the way that she says, this is how comedy works, blah, 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 right? She tells those jokes, but then she goes even further. And that's where it's just like, this is also comedy. Like,
Yeah.
this is also a part of comedy. Like, I think we are starting to realize that when you get on stage and you're performing live, you're going to get more than just like the visceral laughing reaction. You're going to get like, or like, oh, or like moans and groans, depending on what you're talking about. And that is still a reaction.
Do you think there is a difference between stand-up comedy and, let's say, a one-person show? Or are these...
Well, actually, Alyssa brought this up when we were talking about it earlier. She was saying Margaret Cho now, when she tours, basically says it's like a one-woman show because of the topics that Margaret Cho talks about. And I can only say that I just saw her like a few years ago, so I agree.
Sure.
It is very much just like how Hannah Gadsby did her set. It was a lot about her experience as a woman and in comedy, but also just like as a woman, and like how you know, the traumas that occur because of being a woman, basically. And then also being funny and like making fun of it and like just being able to be very like real, but also like very funny.
When I saw,
Back to
yeah,
back.
when I saw Tracy Morgan, one of his catchphrases was like, "I'm here to make you uncomfortable," you know, and it's like, because, and it wasn't that he was, you know, he talked about, you know, taking you behind a middle school and getting you pregnant, and that makes you uncomfortable. But then the other things that he would say were also like, why do you think Hannah Gadsby is getting the?
Because she's a lesbian.
So she's not allowed to make you do other things other than laugh at her hour. But
Because she's a woman.
Yeah, because she's in a marginalized group, and it's
That's
just
why
like,
there's so much backlash because she isn't a white male comic. So she can't step out of the boundary. She can't be different. She has to be within the marginalized margins of her marginicity.
Yeah, she has like she even touched on it in the special where she was saying that like that in order for her to have a voice, she has to self-deprecate. Like you have to put yourself down in order for people to actually listen to you.
Yes, and I would
like,
agree.
Yeah, and I've experienced that too.
Yes,
Like I've totally
comedy.
gotten that, and there
Yeah.
were times definitely in comedy where I would want to speak up or I'd want to say something, and I decided not to because I was like afraid that, you know, I wouldn't get booked anymore, or like this thing wouldn't happen, or like I wouldn't be able to get along with like these other like male comics that I was like kind of calling out for being a dick. Like I don't really give a fuck now, but like at one point in my life that I did, and
it's an experience.
It does have an effect on you because
Yeah.
you feel like there are certain things that you can't really talk about.
Nope. You
And
can't be
it's-
angry. That's for damn
It's so
sure.
funny to me because, like, so in my head, here's what I'm thinking. I'm like, well, but gosh, there's room for like Lenny Bruce and Bob Newhart. But of course,
Both white guys.
but of course, they're both white guys.
Yeah.
You know, but then there's Cosby, and he's like, you know, rapist, and it's
Women
like,
are taking over the comedy scene. I swear to God. Just give it
I-
5 more years.
Yeah, I agree.
And you know what it's going to be? It's going to be one of the best experiences that anybody will ever be able to walk away from, especially when you go to watch it.
yeah,
Yeah, give him a run. Come on, let's do it.
it's
Well,
time.
I don't think they're going to have a choice.
Right? We're like showing
I'm sorry.
up already.
Yeah,
fine, yeah,
we
We've
are-
been here for a bit.
We created the clitorati, motherfuckers.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
All right, well, let's see. Okay, we've got one more thing to get into after speaking about Nanette. What are some of your other like favorite stand-up specials of all time?
Yeah, who like I feel like this is a question for the beginning, but it's all been so goddamn interesting. Who are your influences? Who do you like? Women, men, whoever.
Cat Williams, for sure.
I love Cat Williams.
He was like the first comedian I ever saw live. Totally one of my biggest influences.
Did he hit anyone with a blunt object?
No. This was before he
Went
got
insane?
into drugs. And then Sarah Silverman, 100%. Like her last 2 specials were. I mean, she's just brilliant. But
Yeah, I mean, she is literally a titan of comedy. I don't think that.
she just. I don't know. She's just like how is she not more like in the media than fucking Amy
Sarah
Schumer?
Silverman show is one of the best sitcoms of the 2000s.
Not only that, but have you seen the Hulu show? That
Yeah.
Thank you, America.
It's great. Yeah, and I think the answer to the question of why is Amy Schumer more sort of represented is her comedy is
More sexualizing.
yeah,
towards women.
I'm a whore. I do this, I do that, and then the movies are essentially about that too.
And Sarah Silverman, I think, she'll make
I've seen her in TV shows with her fucking shirt off, but it's not the same.
No, and Sarah Silverman will tell you a joke about sex, but it's also like about I forgot Sarah Silverman
Yeah.
was molested, like, you know, shit like that. She's like, you know, it's about like 8-year-olds fucking and
No,
stuff.
Amy
And like,
Schumer has a joke about like getting cum on her tits and like kind of walking to the bathroom like while shelving that so that she can wipe it off like that. Sarah Silverman. does
that's
not
pretty
do
real
that.
life, though. I get.
Sarah
I mean,
Silverman tells poopy jokes.
right?
Right. No, that's more digestible to the you know.
No, I mean she
the
definitely.
common individual.
Sarah Silverman does very sexual jokes too, but I just think that the way that
But they're way smarter.
they are, I just think that's why I'm just like, why can't she be the representative female comedian?
I mean,
She
been in a
walked
bunch
that
of
line
stuff.
real quick for a long time. I feel like she walked right up to that line, and just never. I mean,
Well, why?
Harvey Weinstein. Who knows? Like,
Probably.
but I mean, but that's also the answer. Like, I make that joke, but like,
No, I said
that's
probably.
Yeah, that's the
But
answer.
hold on, she was in Something About Mary. She was in Wreck-It Ralph, like a Disney film.
Oh,
like,
yeah, she is a
her
Disney
own-
princess.
She is officially has her own Disney princess movie.
Yeah,
that's
she's a
coming
Disney
out.
princess.
Isn't that fucking
Yeah.
amazing?
I love that.
I love that.
that.
I think
think
it's going to be
tight.
amazing.
I tend to think that she's made it on her own terms. I don't think that she.
Yeah, and that makes her definitely.
And you know how like you really know that, and because this is a fucked up world, she's not known as Jimmy Kimmel's ex-girlfriend. Like that's not even
Thank
like
God, right?
that's not even on her resume.
Yeah.
Like,
I can.
Maybe
so,
she has. Yeah.
fun fact. This isn't fun. It's real sad, actually.
Uh-oh.
So I started comedy in the Reno comedy scene, Reno, Nevada, and when I
did you see Reno 911? Ha ha ha.
I did. I did. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. I like that show because
It's
like
great.
when they go into Sun Valley. So like Sun Valley is like this. It's basically the world's biggest trailer park. That's where my first home was. So yeah, humble brag. But
my trailer park was on television.
it was. It wasn't even. They filmed it in the Southern California area because I would watch episodes and be like, "Hey, we don't have palm trees," and I'd get like mad. I don't even remember what I was saying. I'm so sorry.
You're talking about Reno, and I started with Sarah Silverman is
started-
not Jimmy
yeah.
Kimmel's ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, no,
And you were gonna tell a
okay.
story about a
So
shitty ex-boyfriend.
I remember. So like I was doing comedy and like so it didn't matter how funny I was. I was so like I was much funnier than a lot of these dudes that were in the scene. And like I dated two of them, and both times I dated them, people knew me as like this guy's girlfriend, or
Right.
this guy's girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I was like funnier than both of them. I was like getting like I remember one boyfriend I dated, I was getting him gigs. Like I was doing a bunch of out of town stuff, and I was like, "Yo, I guess I'll bring you along as like a co-headliner." Even though he like should have been a feature, but like
Sick burn.
Inside
Yeah.
baseball zing.
it was very inside baseball. But like yeah, like even if you're like so good, you just end up in this place where people are just like, oh, you're like this person's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like you automatically default to that person. So the fact that she is like out in the world and everyone's like, oh, it's Sarah Silverman instead of like Jimmy Kimmel's ex-girlfriend
Yeah.
is amazing. Like that's such a good point to bring up.
And it's bullshit because I'd rather people just know that she's Rain Robinson from Star Trek Voyager. Like, get fucking with it, people.
Who's your favorite, Alyssa?
So my favorite, I would say my favorites are like Stephen Wright. I love Stephen Wright.
Yeah.
I'm a big one.
Big guy on the couch fan.
He's like this, and like I met him in real life, and he's like the sweetest guy in the whole world. I love him
He's been at it for like literally
for so long.
40 years or something.
Yes, and he's just like, and like I have some friends in the Boston scene that are just like, he's the sweetest man ever. Like, no, I've never heard anybody say anything bad about him. He just seems like the sweetest guy.
David
I've
Tell
also-
once called me in the middle of the night, and that was pretty exciting for me.
I love David Tell. I love him. He needs to bring back Insomniac.
I love it. Anyway, you said Stephen Wright. Who else?
Stephen Wright. I love Paula Poundstone.
Absolutely.
I think she's so fucking funny, and she's like, I've read one of her books, and she's so funny, and she's so great, and she's so genuine and odd, and she makes me feel a lot less alone whenever I read her stuff. I really like Dimitri Martin a
Yes.
lot. He is like Dimitri Martin and Jimmy Carr, because they're just such joke writers. They write fucking jokes, dude.
Dimitri Martin, he's not a prop comic, but he uses.
Well,
we
he-
saw
he
with the
walks
lyric.
that line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where he's got like a lot of pictographs and shit.
Yes.
Oh, so great.
Well, because he's got so many different talents. Like he can draw and he can do all this other stuff and he uses every talent that he has.
And he's a good
to do comedy, and it's brilliant. He had a show called Important Things.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it was
it was good.
so good.
He's a good actor. Did
Oh.
you see? I think it's either Saving Woodstock or something.
I saw
Yes,
the
I saw
Woodstock
that.
movie.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
And he had another one where he was like,
Is that an
He's
Ang
had,
Lee
like-
movie?
it was an Ang Lee movie.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was Ang Lee.
Really?
He came out with a movie where he basically just plays himself, and it's really good if you love Dimitri Martin jokes, but if you're not into Dimitri Martin jokes, it's probably not a good movie for you
I
to
think
watch.
he's really similar to Bo Burnham. I know that.
Yes, I love Bro Burnham.
Yeah,
I
he's
was there
real
for
cool.
one of his special tapings. in San Francisco, I was like, this is my dream. I think he's wonderful. He's a prodigy.
Yeah.
He kills it.
Where are you guys on John Mulaney?
A lot of my friends keep telling me that, like, oh, you gotta check it out, and like I feel so bad because I'm like, yeah, I'll check it out, and then I just don't, and so I haven't seen it yet.
I don't listen to that guy, but I've heard good things. But I just like,
I just haven't gotten around to it. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
You're just over the white men. I realized
No,
I'm
it's
listing
not
white
about-
guys.
No, it's not about that. It's about stand-up specials in general.
We're at a boom period.
Well,
And
I don't really watch them that much.
That's what I'm trying to say. I just don't watch them that much. Like, I'm not like one of those people. I'm actually performing comedy. I don't need to be watching it.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Ooh.
I don't. Well,
Shots fired.
That's the thing is like sometimes when you're performing it more, you start to gravitate away from watching it because you're afraid that, like, what if you get influenced?
Exactly.
What if something else happens?
I have a filter
Yeah.
on my brain, and I like to keep it there.
Yeah, like I'm worried that I'm like, what if I watch something and start to think of something similar? So instead, I just
Similar
like
or-
sit and be boring and read Bloomberg Business Week, see what's up with here, and then just do that instead.
I got two things. One, what do you guys think about Carlos Mencia? Because he is
Piece of shit. Joke ass stealer.
That's it. We should just fire off names at them and see how they feel about them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't.
Wait,
I don't.
let her answer.
Yeah, I heard he just steals a bunch of stuff. I've never really been excited about him, so
Right.
that's all I got.
But this is a guy who, who apparently stole jokes, who had a Comedy Central series
He
that
had
went
a
on for like
series.
3 seasons. And
Same way Louis C.K. was able to masturbate in front of like 6 women before he finally got caught. And
Oh
years
God, it's got to
later-
be more than 6.
And years later.
as for him, at least he admitted to it.
True.
Like, he didn't try to deny it. He's just like, yeah, that's
Oh yeah,
the thing.
I'm pretty sure anybody who's tried to confront Carlos Mencia, Carlos has gone like completely off his rocker.
I don't
Reaction.
I have no idea where he is. But okay,
Still
so
doing comedy.
My other thing is he really?
yes, I think he is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
unfortunately, he's still doing
I've
comedy.
definitely seen him. Like, I'll see like tour dates of his
Yeah.
every once in a while. They'll
Yeah.
pop up on Facebook. They're like, "Oh, he's
Performing
he's-
at the Horseshoe Casino.
Yeah,
I fucking
it's always
bet.
like he's at a casino. He's at the Mohegan Sun in
Yeah.
in Massachusetts, and you're like, okay, cool, bye.
So one of my all-time heroes was George Carlin,
sure.
and I managed to see him at the Lyric before. I think it was literally like 7 months before he died.
Humble brag.
I know.
That's not a humble brag. I'm just grateful that I actually. So
Grateful brag.
I was grateful brag. I was grew up just absolutely loving his comedy 100% from all the hippy dippy, weatherman shit from the 60s, all the way up until. Not even until post throughout all of his politics, anti-Reagan, and then yada yada yada. Like, just an absolute genius when it came to comedy.
Yup.
So, like, who's
he's
your like
great.
top tier individual then? That's for me.
Well, I will say
we
that
get to pick one.
yeah,
Or two. Pick as many as you want.
I will say for me, and I'm not like the person who actually convinced me to do stand-up comedy. Not directly, indirectly.
They came to your house.
Through
They,
his podcast.
they knocked on your door and was like, "You need to do comedy, my friend."
Hello.
Yeah, Joe Rogan, yeah, that guy.
Oh yeah.
I was going to ask you about Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
I liked him on news radio. I had a crush on
Oh.
him on news radio. That's it.
Dude, so hot. But I would I don't even listen to podcasts anymore, but I would listen to his podcasts like all the time. And basically he just kept saying like all the stuff about all these things that I could completely relate to. And I was like, oh shit, maybe I should just try it. And so then I did.
And he's gotten a lot of play this week. He had that the clip about immigration where he just goes off because he's a bit like Evan. He's a kind of a libertarian. But
what did he say about that? I stopped listening.
Oh,
him.
he said if you're not into immigration, then you're fucking doing it wrong, and you're not on the American team.
Agreed.
Yeah, exactly. Like how
Totally
could
agreed.
I was like, I didn't think
I'm
he would say
biased
anything.
because my
Oh,
mom's
yeah.
an immigrant, but
Like
agreed.
also like just like everybody's cool. Like what's your problem?
Yeah, he's like if you're fine with like this stuff, like the separations at the border, fuck you.
Yeah,
Get
that's
out, like
actually,
you
like-
get out of here.
That's like my opening joke right now is about this whole like thing and how like I can't come because I can't handle what's going on in the country.
Always
right
in the
now.
back. Always in the back of your mind.
Like every time I go to Pornhub, like I probably should be on NPR, like finding out like what's going on with these families. You know, like I don't know. So, but yeah, him, and then I would just say Margaret Cho is the other one because I've been watching her since I was a teenager.
Yeah.
Because of my aunt, not because I like was like actively ever interested in comedy. It was just my aunt was, and then I just kept seeing her just like, you know, telling her truths and being funny as shit, and that those two people really.
And
did
she's
it
a
for
very
me.
raw like person. Doesn't
Yep.
doesn't fuck around.
I feel like she was the first person I ever saw like tell jokes about her mom.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like
Oh yeah, that's what made me, you know.
you know, but like it was like this was the first person to say, oh, they're not, you know, because at the time it was all, you know, what's the deal with airline food? And Margaret Cho was not talking about airline food.
Nope.
You know, and really, really great stuff.
And the sad thing is we never got down to the real thing that matters is what's the deal with airline food.
No,
we never figured it
we'll
out.
never
We
know.
don't have
Nobody's
it
ever figured out
anymore.
what's
We
the deal.
don't know.
Nobody,
It's also true.
It's over. It's done.
nobody knows what's the deal
That's why it went away.
It's like,
with airline food.
what's the deal with airline food? If it's a flight over 5 hours, they give you a small bag of honey roasted peanuts. Like,
I love that you have that like so ready.
It's been on that soundboard for 5 years.
Is this how many times have you used it?
all the time.
I feel like every time.
I'm pretty Jewy. We find an excuse to play a Seinfeld sting when we need it.
Yeah,
No, that's
usually.
tight.
Okay, it is now time to end the show.
Okay.
You guys ready?
Oh,
Yeah,
what is this? To shut up?
It
Yeah,
is
you have a concert to get to.
Oh yeah.
a concert. It is now time to get a little angry. Time to get a little venti.
Italian for 20.
Mm-hmm. Time to get a little pissed offy. Time to go a little...
That was Beavis. Was that Beavis or Bud?
No, it was not.
It's you, isn't it?
No, it was a man named Lowell Melser.
Oh, it's Lowell. It's Lowell.
Time to get a little murderous.
Fatality.
Was that for Mortal Kombat?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, queen.
Yes, queen.
Time to go right ahead and tell everyone to shut up.
Give me the train.
Sorry.
We gonna let the band deal with this.
Total carnage!
Old school.
Yeah!
This is the end of the show in which we give persons, places, and things that are giving us the opposite of jollies and deproving our quality of life.
I hear it now.
Yeah. A hearty and well-felt shut up. My shut up this weekend is to individuals that feel it is necessary to beep at people when the person in front of them has only like 1 second to react.
It's not been long enough for the light to change.
Oh my god.
Hate that.
Look, man, I realize I don't have lightning fast reflexes, but I'm trying to get going. Just fucking shut up.
Like,
Give it a break.
I'll finish this text and then we'll be going. Like, leave me alone.
I'm not even texting, but I'm driving a manual transmission car, and I've got to punch in the clutch, and I got to get in first to get through this intersection.
When I first
So
started,
leave me alone.
when I was first learning to drive a stick, yes, that was my insecurity. It's like, it's taking you too long to get off the light.
Oh my god. Shut up.
I
All
like
right,
it.
Brian, who's got a shut up? You got a shut up?
I didn't come up with one.
I have one.
You're a horrible human being.
Nicki's got one. Here, I'll take.
You
Get the time to
ruminate.
think of it while
I will.
say mine.
Nicki.
Dear Duck from Friday's tubing session at Harper's Ferry, who basically circled my group of me and my two friends
A duck.
2 times for food.
Oh.
That was the scariest time of my life.
You were afraid of a duck?
This fucking duck was aggressive. First
Whoa,
of all.
aggressive duck.
They wouldn't splash it. I was like, if we just splash it, it'll go away. But no, so he just circled around our 3 tubes about 4 times before he got the fucking picture when we floated down. And then we went back up and we floated down again and he did the same thing. And it was, shut up, duck.
I love it.
This marks
Fuck
the first
that
time
duck.
we've ever had a shut up to a duck.
Like, that duck just pissed me the fuck off.
Doug gotta shut up, my dude.
Instead
Watch
of
out for that duck.
Instead of a shut up, I'm going to put forward a shout out. I forgot.
What?
I would like to shout out the summer show Take Two, starring.
Oh, yeah.
Starring.
Wait, you did this last week.
Oh, I did.
Yes.
Shit! I fucking love this show.
Rachel Bilson.
Yeah. Summer.
Rachel Bilson?
Summer Roberts herself.
I love Summer Roberts.
Well-
I used to watch the OC, like...
Now
Dude,
she's
I watched
Castle.
so much OC.
Dude, I had, like, all the seasons.
Let's talk.
Guys, anytime you're ready to start the that OC podcast, you just let me know.
Oh, that would be
I
brilliant.
don't need this on my plate. We've already got our fucking Quantum Leap thing going.
Well, there's another thing
You
for you to
would want to
upload.
really digest
I goddamn
all
love the OC. We did in DC. Me and
All
my
right, we
friend
can do it.
Steven did
All
an
right.
entire show, like a comedy show, only about the OC.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was called the DC,
Okay.
and we fucking roasted the OC, and we did so many things.
What's the better song from OC? The soundtrack
Ooh,
or
what you say.
yes or
Ooh, what you say? For real, because that scene was wow.
I still find an excuse to bring out that video if I
Wait,
can.
which scene was that?
Oh, when Marissa shoots
when she shoots Ryan's brother.
Trey, Ryan's brother Trey.
Yeah,
Yeah, I need to rewatch that.
dude,
Abso-fucking-lutely.
fucking banana pants.
Yeah, I
Alyssa.
think that's like a whole thing that might happen.
Alyssers, do you have any shout-outs?
No, dude, I'm fucking cool with everybody.
All right, great.
We're
good.
gonna shout out to Taking Back Sunday.
Dude, shout out to Taking Back Sunday.
You are
I
about
love
to
'em.
see that band.
They're my favorite band. I know I'm 30 and I'm also a child, but they're my favorite band. Bye.
Well, you don't have to say bye.
Okay, well, I'm still here, but
All right, that has been shut
Oh yeah, now that's the last part. Now
that's the last part. We played the exploding.
Let the band deal with this.
Oh, nope, didn't want that to reloop.
you know what? It's the Natty Ices versus the Natty Lights.
Oh, it absolutely is, dude.
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
I'm
Me
feeling
too.
It. It's
I'm
pretty
surprised I'm able to do this
Not
at all.
feeling it.
tough. Good for you.
Well, you're drinking ciders.
Peach cider.
All right, this has been episode 236, I think,
236.
of the CTB show. I would like to greatly thank Nicki Fuchs.
Thank you so much for having me.
Wow.
This has been really exciting.
And
This
Alyssa
is a
Cowan.
great comic.
Thanks for having me.
Clap it up for Alyssa.
Clap, clap, clap.
Follow our
clap.
booze clue shit, bitches.
Yeah, so tell people once again where they can find you and like see you and stuff like that. You know, give your professionals.
All right. So Booze Clues, you can follow Laugh Owens Laugh on Facebook. That's where we usually post those events. My name is Alyssa. You can find me at Alyssa Pants on Twitter, and then my podcast is called Letter Talk Podcast. If you want to hear a bunch of letters to random people, and it's really short and it's weekly, you should check that out.
So once again, it's like, dear sirs, I was disappointed in my Ticonderoga No. 2 pencils. It's that kind of letter, right?
Yes, but yes. I wrote a letter recently to Carlo Rossi Wine.
Did they send you a whole shitload?
Oh, the
They
jug
didn't
wine.
send me shit, but I literally sent them a whole letter asking them about like everything I didn't understand about the sitcom Frasier. I wrote them a letter about all of that.
That's great. That's so great.
Dude, I did forge a friendship with the American Egg Board. They wrote me a letter back.
So
I'm friends with the Egg Lobby.
I've always
because
been
I
under
wrote them a
the
letter.
opinion if you
You'd
send people
better run egg.
If you send people letters, they send you shit.
So far, just the Egg Lobby.
What did the Egg Lobby send you? Did they send you an egg cup? I've always wanted one.
They literally just sent me a letter back, and then I sent them an egg cup. I sent them a mug that says "Egg Fan for Life."
Oh yeah, I meant like an egg cup where you keep your egg. And
Oh,
people,
no.
People can't see me tapping my soft-boiled egg, but
They didn't send me anything, but they sent me a letter, and it's really fucking funny. But their
Amazing.
letter was just like 100% puns, and I was just like, I have so much respect for the Egg Lobby now.
That's tight.
so Nicki, next Friday and Saturday,
Oh, yeah.
Artscape After Dark.
9 p.m. I run a monthly show every second Tuesday at Sissimo's. It's called The Clitorati Presents Lip Service. The
What time
next
does that start on Tuesday nights?
9 p.m. Yeah, it's a
I should
little
really
bit
go.
on the, yeah, you should go.
It's like my neighborhood.
Is it?
Well, yeah, I live in Hampton.
Oh, no shit. Yeah, come to one.
That's such a cool
Caitlin
spot.
would like it. It's all ladies from all over the East Coast. And then I do Jokes That Give Back every third Thursday in D.C. If you're ever up in D.C., it's from 7 to 8 p.m. at the D.C. Draft House. And then whatever me and Alyssa do, which we want to do a, what is it? The Hugs one?
Oh my God, we have a show called Do You Need a Hug, where everybody just does sad material, and then at the end of their set, we ask the audience if they need a hug, and then someone can come up and give them a hug.
That's great.
Yeah.
I've done the show many, many times, and only one person has ever not gotten a hug. That's a pretty good ratio.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, is it like, nah, dude, you're gross?
Well, everyone's like, he's good.
Yeah. Like how it was a he, but okay. Anyway, yeah, that's about
Yeah,
it.
well, you know what? Honestly, girls are getting hugged.
Yeah, we're getting hugged no
Yeah.
matter what.
It's fun. It's a
Women.
great show.
Sorry,
Yeah.
women.
I don't mind girls.
No, me neither.
I want to be
I am
youthful
all
again.
of it.
W-O-M.
I want to be
MYN.
young again. Call
Me
me a
too.
girl.
I'm a girl. I'm a gal.
All right, thank you very much for listening to this episode of the CTB show. Thank you very much for being a fan. Thank you very much for being a friend.
Pals and confidants.
Shall we do it?
No.
Like, no. We should do
Not
it.
in front of...
We should do it.
Bro, not in front of girls.
No, what?
It's embarrassing singing.
If
you threw a party and invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift would be from me, and the card attached would say, "Thank you for being a friend. I want to thank you."